I guess I'm lying by myself today. Hmm. Whatever.
You need me?
Are we
You
gonna
need me?
are we gonna have a word from our sponsor today?
You need me?
Mm.
Hmm? Was you looking for me?
No, I was looking for Rick.
You was looking for me? You need me?
No, I was looking for my mom.
You don't even want to say it, huh? It's okay. I know you need me. Even though I'm always in the background on tech stock and jobs, it's okay.
You choose to be.
Not actually. No. I,
Mm.
no.
Good evening, Miss Phoenix. How you doing? Miss Phoenix 91. Robert Rose, how you doing? Todd. I thought Meg. Is that correct? I wasn't sure I said that right. You tell me if I slaughtered that or not. Oh, I need to bring it up on my tablet too. Mm.
I feel so honored to be here this afternoon
Mm.
on Tech Stocks and Jobs. Always such an action packed, resource rich show.
It is. It's about to be one now. Just pronounced Mac. Okay.
You know, I don't think you know or not, but I get just as much as the audience when I'm sitting here and producing the show. I'm looking at, luckily, I have notes I can go back to, but it's always fun.
Oh, some of these are not on the notes. My bad. When I was sitting here listening to stuff, I was like, oh yeah, and oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Don't forget that, and don't forget that.
That's why I'm usually in back. I had a raspberry smoothie. Well, my square smoothie had raspberries in it.
I had
And you
some
know, I hate
unsalted
raspberries.
nuts.
Hmm?
I had some unsalted nuts, dry roasted peanuts.
Well, I strained the smoothie because I don't like uh, raspberry seeds. I caught one a little bit.
They're all the same to me.
I
Strawberry.
know that's why I just blend them up when I make you one. I just blend them all up
It's
because
all the same. Or
yeah,
raspberry,
I
strawberry,
can't.
sweet.
I'm just like I can't. Terrible. Anywho,
Are you ready for today's show?
I am ready. I'm excited to see what you have planned for us. I'm looking at the links,
Some
and
of them are not up there.
that's what you said. Some of them not out there, so I am curious to know what's your train of thought for
Uh,
this episode 72,
well,
73.
we're gonna talk.
73 on online. You have it at 72.
Oh, my bad.
I keep
I'll be
telling
off.
you, do better,
I'll be off.
do better.
I'm
But I
just.
was going down. I was going down, so my smoothie gave me a little bit of energy.
Oh. So this one we're gonna talk about um family offices and tax strategies. And the reason for that is one, I think people hear us say family office and black card from the last show and just like what in the world we're talking about. But we mentioned family offices before,
Mm-hmm.
multi-family office and single family offices. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Mentioned those before. But what does it take to create one, and what are some well-known family offices?
Right.
One, and then the other one is tax strategies. What does that look like? So it's got a couple of videos I want to highlight, and then we're gonna. That'll probably take us the 2 hours there. But I also,
And this is not financial advice. These are things that we're actually learning and implementing for ourselves, and we're just sharing with you as we go along on the journey. And as we always say at Women in Linux, the best way to learn is to teach. So thank you for enjoying this journey with us. We don't know it all. We are definitely making mistakes and asking plenty of questions on the in as we go along.
Yeah, and the other piece is just to highlight what I stated before. Every skill set you add an asset, which gets into the same conversation. Speaking of deep, where are we at with the shirts? No estate, no date.
I'm gonna have
Oh,
those shirts on the website this weekend. That's what I'm going to do. That's why I don't want you to schedule anything. I'm working on a website and I'm working on those t-shirts this weekend. That is my goal for myself for this weekend to have that up. I already have some designs and stuff. I just need to get them on the website. That's where I'm at.
even even Sasha sent me hashtag one skill away from 200K. She sent it over on the t-shirt that she sent it over the other day.
Oh, I did. She didn't send it to me. I didn't see it.
Yeah, she sent it to me.
Nobody sends me anything.
Yeah, hold on, let me get it.
Send it to me.
Hold
It
on,
might be your design. Help a girl out.
hold on. No, no. She sent it over to me. Let me pull it up and download the JPEG, and then I'll pull it up. Cause she was like, "What a shirt at?" I was like, "That's a D thing.
Don't sound so excited.
That's a D thing."
This is a D thing. Everything that's going on behind the scenes
It's a
is a
D
D
thing.
thing. So everything that Tam doesn't do, I do. So everything is a D thing. It's my thing.
All right, I got them downloaded. So let me pull it up. Um, oh, maybe I can make it a little bigger. That's about as big as it's gonna get. Oh, that's just a little better. Okay.
Let's see what she got up here. Cute, but that's tiny.
Yeah, it's tiny for right now, but
It's
then
tiny, but I like where you're going away from that. One skill away from 200K. I am going to make a play on that just for Sasha. I'm gonna make you
uh,
proud.
hold on. Here's another one. Here's another way she did it. Let me expand that. And then she had a vertical.
Sasha, I'm gonna make you proud. I'm gonna take what you got, and I am going to collaborate with you on one skill away from 200K. Since you have went through all of this to do that, I'll make you proud. Uh, what else?
We got to do a show on fun. We got to do a private show.
We'll definitely do a
Have to do a
private show.
mastermind on funds. Mm, we got to do that.
It's definitely been an interesting journey on how to set those things up and how most families are using that across the US. Like you wonder how some states are, making more money and things of that nature. It's all in planning. It's all in this state. Like you would be so amazed how behind the ball we are when it comes to like certain strategies and things of that nature, and how just sitting in, digging in, doing the research um will just get us from behind the ball when it comes to wealth. um I just can't stress it enough. I'm not gonna be the dead horse. You guys are here because you want to know. So that's the first thing. But everybody needs to implement. It looks good, it sounds good, but implement, do it afraid. Take one step at a time, make a plan, um, break your plan up into sizable chunks. You don't need thousands and thousands of dollars. You can definitely start investing with the money that you have, whether it be crowd investing, whether it be, just a little, starting a spreadsheet on Fiverr or something. You can do something. Um,
So I want to add. I want to be messy and add and say this.
why do you have to be messy? You know I love it.
All right.
Okay.
So D and I was talking, and I looked at a couple of people videos last night, not over this week, but last night on the whole TD Jakes conversation. The whole men pour in and women are being raised, being pushed to be men, blah blah
Yeah,
blah
and
blah.
I haven't seen the video in its entirety. I just saw the
Right,
snippet
right.
everyone was
And I
talking
see,
about.
and I see that people of the opposite sex, let's say it that way, choose to pick out the one little blurb that he states in that whole conversation.
I mean, but that's how people generally do like the Bible.
The
Like
the
they
the
pick
click
out
the
what's
clickbait
applicable
version.
to them and what they want to feed to the masses.
And I just want to and I want to say this from my standpoint. I agree on part of it. I agree on part of it. I what wasn't said in that conversation, um in parts of it he said, the men, and this the part that doesn't get talked about, the men have abused the women and the women have been forced to do X, Y, and Z. But what hasn't been said was, oh, who poured into the men or who didn't pour into the men. And that comes from a mother and a father part. And then the other part of that is, why was that the case? Right? What happened where there was no one there to support that
Hmm.
young man growing up, whether it be the mother wasn't there, the father wasn't there, or whatever the case may be, right? So that's what it's saying. Coda Evelyn, you asked what the topic was. The topic was me being messy. The messy part is the TD Jakes thing that's going viral with everyone, but everyone is choosing to pick out the one part where he states about women. They don't talk about the whole sermon, and the whole sermon is about men and women.
Yeah. You know, people love a sound bite.
Right, like
They will take a sound bite and run with it. But
right,
you know, when I do go back to comments, I do appreciate people that say you need to go watch the whole video.
right. But
I go watch the whole video.
what I don't like is this narrative um that it's only the women, like, so now the media is going to push it's only black women, it's their fault, is they wanted to be men. But if you listen to what his sermon said, was he said he said the men are not pouring into the women, so they have to go out in it. So like you need to go back and watch the whole thing, and understand there's accountability on both parts. And I agree with that. I agree with that. I know men right now who have daughters and don't pour into their daughters. They pour into themselves. I know men right now don't even have a clue about what it is that that daughter really needs from them. And this is one of the key things that he talked about in that video is, you're more than a provider, which is what we and D and I have been saying forever. Why do you reduce yourself to just provision and protection when you are
No,
more than
why do
that?
you reduce yourself to just finances? Like I'm so sad for you that you only come to the table with finance, that you think that's your total worth in our relationship. Like that's sad for me. It's sad. It hurts my spirit. It hurts my heart that that's what it is. And you, it's just like, let's unpack that. You know, let's unpack why you don't think that I need, you know, support or, um, a friend, a sounding board. Um,
Or why you think I don't want to listen to you and the problems that you may actually be having with yourself and you're trying to work through something. Like I don't know what that is. Like I listen to a lot of people talk about stuff, and it's always this narrative like men gotta be this way, and we can't talk about X, Y, and Z because that don't make us a man. And then on the other part is the other flip side of that is, well, women don't want to listen to us when we bring it up. Well, you just said you don't want to bring it up because that's not part of being a man. So it's an internal conflict that you're exposing outward. That I be sitting here like, well, what we supposed to do about that?
When I was married, one of my like my pet peeves were, and you get into relationship, and it's definitely about compromise. And I know for me, like some things I need to mull over by myself to kind of think it out, and then I'll tap somebody in. And so I would give him that same grace of like mulling it over. But then, for me, it's just like, how long you gonna mull that over? And so I would say, when you're ready to tap me in, let me know. When you're ready to tap me in, let me know, because you've been trying to figure it out for a while, and let's see what you got. It's okay not to know. Like I don't expect anybody to know all things. Like it just doesn't make any sense. So when people are like, you're gonna lead you to the, like, it is a mutual leading. Like that's the benefit of partnership. Now, everybody is not 100% at all the times. Like, how do you expect someone to know, especially in me and Tam always say, like, you know, we used to get married really young. What 20-year-olds are leading what to what? You're just trying to make it and figure out what you want to do. Like, we put so much pressure on ourselves to be these things. It just doesn't make any sense.
I know some friends of mine that got married at 17 and 18, right? 17 and 18, they married. And then you ask, and this is not like my grandma is. They're younger than me. They're younger than me.
My sister just made 40, and her and her husband, and we were dying laughing. They've been together for 18 years. And I'm like, and you're 40, and you guys have been together forever. Like, been on your job for 17 years. Like, and it's still a growing thing that
A
they're
learning
doing
process.
together. It's still a learning process.
Yeah. It's a learning process. You learn over time and so forth. And I mean, I learn things about myself every single day that I didn't know. Like people, I don't think you ever stop learning, right? I don't know one person that knows the human body very well. Like, oh, the human body can do that. Oh, we didn't even know it could do that, right? We're still exploring and learning about the human body, much less being in a relationship and you exploring and learning about who you are and your body and reactions to certain things or how things make you feel, or you didn't know you could feel that way. I mean, you're still learning, right? It's it's definitely a learning process, and I think, and I've always said this. I've always said that there's never enough grace given into getting into a relationship and learn. Like, this expected to be this total package, right?
And these are all
Um,
types of relationships,
yeah.
friendships, your intimate your I guess your dating relationships, your marriages, your work relationships as well. I mean, it and Azrael said he was preaching equal accountability. I think
Hmm.
that's what's missing in a lot of conversations in general, is a accountability in how you show up to the table. I always say, be accountable for the energy you bring in this space. I don't play the blame game. I'm always going to come with a solution. I'm going to take responsibility for my actions, um, or lack thereof actions, or be able to finally, and it's taking a long time for me because I'm usually the one that shuts down, to say how I'm feeling and be okay with that, and give that person an opportunity to respond back. And if they don't have anything, they don't have anything. But I'm not holding on to that. I'm not carrying that load around.
And this the statement you make that she made above, like I agree with TD Jakes. Context matters. The men in my family have been a bit more coddled than the girls were, which is why more of the girls who grew up are more successful but marry later. And that's a twofold thing, right? When I say it's a twofold thing, the girls, you were forced to go to school and get an education and be bring back home A's and B's. Not saying that men weren't, but I saw more of that being put on um, my female cousins more so than it was my male cousins. But what I also saw was um, the men who were even in their lives didn't force that. They forced on the women, the girls, to be the best at everything. Like, if you're gonna go out there and compete, you need to compete like this. Like, so it's funny because the men actually in lives don't never really. I honestly have. I don't know too many men that talk to girls about uh well, this is what a woman does and this is what a lady does. It's always a competition thing. Like, it's always, oh, you need to know how to change a tire. You don't know how to change a tire. You need to learn how to change a tire. You don't need to be out there on the road stranded by yourself. You need to know how to do this. You need to know how to
It
work
was
on this car.
survival skills.
Yeah,
Like
you
we're
need to
in the
know how.
survival.
That come
Like
from that.
you
That
be
comes
able to, like
from
my dad, you need any car you get in, you need to be able to drive it. You need to be able to get away. It's that survival of the fittest type of
even
situation.
well, even with my even with my with my own dad, it was, you need to know how to do this. You need to know how to do X, Y, and Z. You need to know what the stock market is. If you don't know what stock market, you need
And
to
this
learn.
is from your dad, not
Right,
your mom,
right.
but your dad. And we had this conversation on one of those shows that I crept out on. But men are teaching the women. And so when do they hold themselves accountable for teaching their daughters
But
these things?
Q4 we get no father wants his daughter stranded. We get that part. What we're saying is this: in the dating realm, because a woman knows how to change a tire or look at and check the oil to see if the oil is low, if she needs to 1040W, or she needs to go to the store and buy synthetic, or the light is out, it comes from men. It comes from men. Men say she's masculine because she knows how to do that when her dad taught her that. So is she masculine, or she just know how to survive? And if she knows how to survive and know what she needs to do, why is that a penalty? It don't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me that you're you penalize the woman for knowing how to survive when she's taught that from her father. And this always cracks me up too, is people like, well, who the woman gonna call if she got a flat tire? Triple A.
Triple A. Triple A. Like that's what we had. We
Triple
had
A.
Triple A. Like Triple A.
Roadside
Then I
assistance.
didn't realize when I had insurance, I had roadside assistance because everybody in my family had Triple A. Like that is what we call Triple A. What you
Q4,
mean?
I'm not misunderstanding it at all. This is literally what men have been saying. I'm not misunderstanding nothing. I'm not misunderstanding anything. This is what men say. Men say, "Oh, that's masculine," and I'm like, well, I don't need to call a man if I got roadside assistance in my insurance. When you sign up for Progressive or State Farm or whatever they ask you, do you want roadside assistance? You can get roadside assistance on your cell phone. Hey, if you get stranded, you got roadside assistance. It was like $4 from Sprint. You add it on there. I would add it on there, and I'm like,
And I've called men when I've had like a car incident, and they have said some of the most silliest shit. And often, like, I'm not doing that. Like,
Q4,
you want me to wait 4 hours for your friend to? What? No,
yeah, Q4.
I'm
I'm not
fine.
misunderstanding that. I'm glad you're teaching your daughter that you're supposed to. That's my point.
That's part of
And that's
parenting.
this part of
That's
parenting.
that's
That's
what
what you're
parents
supposed
do.
to do.
They
So,
they teach their children to how to
somebody said
survive
drop
in this
the link.
world.
Drop the link, Dion. Drop the link. Go ahead and drop the link. Go
Oh,
ahead.
you're dropping the link
Yeah,
already?
yeah, drop the link. But
Oh,
what
we
I'm
off the
saying,
rails.
what I'm simply saying is this. My father taught me that, but now because my father taught me that, and I can exhibit that I know how to do that, it is now a problem. And I'm not taking away from the fact that I can call a man and ask him to change my tire, come by and change my tire. But if he's 4 hours away, I'm just gonna notify like, hey, I got a flat, and I'm calling roadside assistance, but I'm gonna go ahead and prep X, Y, and Z, right? I'm just simply saying those kind of things. But again, the link has been dropped. You're more than welcome to have the
I
conversation.
dropped it. I dropped the link. But I mean, hey, and yeah, I want to get some clarity on what my mother taught me. Like, I haven't even lived with my mother. I haven't lived with my mother since I've been 14 years old. And after that, as a grown up, I stayed with my mother for 28 days. So, we were just reading Tam sent me over this funny little blurb about millennials. And it was so true in regards to,
Mhm.
and even my siblings, I'm the oldest of three. And and we're all 7 years apart. So those are different generations. And for me, I am the most independent of the three, not because it was something I chose. It was just circumstance. It was circumstance. So, and I am the furthest away from home. And when it comes to being a latchkey kid, knowing how to cook an egg, wash your uniform shirts, it was just what we had to do. We didn't know anything better. So,
Yeah.
hey.
Yeah, and for me, like I said, growing up, my mom taught me how to wash a car. She taught me how to clean a car. She was like, "You go here, you get this wax. You need to make small circles and wax the car. It's gonna take you this amount of time to do it. You need to clean the inside out. You need to wash the
Wait,
tire."
wait, wait. Let me bring this thing up because this is you, Q. You are going deeper into I don't know what it is because
Yeah.
this it says men are not saying masculine because of that. Men are saying masculine because of bad attitudes. So is masculinity a bad attitude? Are you men walking around with bad attitudes? That this is tech stocks and jobs. These conversations, maybe it is not even a binary hustler because I don't know. Like I'm confused. I am more confuzzled than ever. I don't know what that means.
Again, like I said, parents teach you what they know how or what they want to transfer to their kids. That's just what it is, right? And people do what they can with what knowledge and information they have at their fingertips and so forth. I know they so draining.
It
They're
is. I
so
used to
they're
work
so
at
draining.
Code and Evelyn. I used to work at it's equivalent to AutoZone, but in California it was called Kragen's. And at Kragen's, I would be in there. I worked in the front at Kragen's, and everybody in the front had to do auto mechanic like things. People bringing their carburetors. I'm testing carburetors and alternators and filling fluids because that was part of the job. That was part of the job. It was fun for me, but I mean, on my first car, I was able to, know what was going on, and it was great training. It's not like I wanted to go be a girl mechanic, but it was just some things that were part of the job that we learned. So,
I used to work at Walmart, right? And we had they had a paint department in Walmart. And in the paint department, you would go people would come in and they would try to match up paint and colors, and I would learn how to match up paint and colors and grab cans of paint off the shelf, match them up. I'm like one it'll be one yank, one squirt, one this, one that, or this right here. Shake that up, mallet it, put that mallet on the top, shake it up, and then pull it out, and then and match that up, and then I will have to learn the difference between the different rollers and so forth and so on. And then we also had the at Walmart help put bikes together. So it was just one of the things. Like all the stuff that we're talking about, it wasn't necessarily about survival skills, cues in the back, but it was more or less about this. You could just learn stuff on the job. This is what it is. He's in the back.
I see him.
Okay. We can't hear you though.
She said, I see you.
Okay, now you got you.
I'm gonna say he ain't said nothing yet.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what's the misunderstanding here?
I think the misunderstanding was the statement you were saying. It was the bad attitudes that men are saying, and we're not even talking about the attitudes at all. What I'm saying is this: if you're my father and you
Okay.
taught me how to change a tire, and
Right.
then I go on a date and we get to talking and I know how to change a tire, why is that being misconstrued as me being masculine?
You don't
My
tell the man
daddy
to change
My
the
daddy
time,
taught me. Like, why is that being misconstrued as being? That's what I'm saying.
but you don't tell him you know how to change the time.
Yeah, I do. Why not?
'Cause that's not that's
Why
not
are
necessary.
you not
It's
telling
not
me?
necessary. He's not looking for a woman that can change the tire. If
If
he
it's
is,
in a
you got a problem.
no, it just may come up in conversation that hey, yeah, my dad, growing up taught me how to change a tire, just in conversation. But that shouldn't be a penalty against the woman.
Okay.
Let me be clear. Let me put some context to this too.
Okay.
The person that I got married to, grandmother showed him how to do pedicures and manicures. And he knew how to
He
paint
said
my
that.
nails and do my toenails. His grandmother showed him that. In fact, his grandmother was an actual hairdresser to the stars. And so she showed him how to do hair, she showed him how to do nails, and he was around his grandfather, and his grandfather showed him how to change oil, showed him how to do masculine things. But all I'm simply saying is she showed him that. So do I now call him feminine because he know how to paint nails, because he know how to match up colors? I don't call him feminine.
Bonus.
That's
I don't
suspect.
call him feminine because of that.
That's not. But it's not a masculine. It's not masculine.
It will
You
okay.
know
What?
how many male hairdressers are out there
Oh,
that are
okay.
not
So
homosexual?
hold on. Let me stop you right there, because when I go get my nails done, it's a man that does my nails with tattoos, and he's super huge, and he's Asian, and in fact, he's the owner of the shop.
And do you know a barber is a hairdresser?
But
You
how
know
many
that's what
women?
barbering
How
is,
many?
hairdressing.
But how many women have you heard say, "I'm gonna go out. It's Thursday night," for example. How many women have you heard say, "I'm looking for a guy to know how to paint nails"?
That's not what we're saying. That's not what we're saying. We don't say, "Hey, we looking for a
You're not
man to
answering.
paint my
You're not
toe." That's not
answering the
what we're
question,
saying.
man.
What I'm saying is, no. What I'm saying is, if he knows how to do that, I'm not going to call him feminine because he knows how to do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I,
I'm
I,
not going. If oh, okay,
okay.
so all right. So what do you say to the guy? Because he's been on Instagram forever, and he has a daughter, and he does his daughter hair, and he showcases him doing his daughter's hair. Is that feminine because he knows how to do his daughter hair,
It
or
depends.
is he
Like,
or he's taking care of his daughter?
okay, so in my case, right? It
Hmm.
depends on why. So I had to raise my daughter, right? And so if he's doing it for the sake of showing other men that are single fathers based on whatever circumstance to help them, that's one circumstance. But if he's doing this because he enjoys doing this, I I
But he
don't know.
probably enjoys doing it because it's his daughter. That's the point I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
Yes,
like
yes.
I think we get so caught up in what's masculine and what's feminine to we want to control the narrative and the label of people to make us feel comfortable, when it should be, what does it take for that man and that woman to make that relationship work for them?
Yes, and what you are saying is what you are saying is logically correct, but we don't live in that type of world. What you're
No,
saying is
you
that,
don't live in that type of world, because I do.
well, I don't have a problem with it either way. Whatever somebody else, that's their business. That has nothing to do with me. But you know,
I hear you, but that's not when we go. When I go on a date, I'm not looking for a man to paint my toenails or whatnot. If he do, if he know how to do it, great, whatever. But that's not my first thing. My first thing is no estate, no date. If you don't have no estate, we don't date. So it's
okay, I know you the poster child for that. I get that. I
I love
get
a
that.
man that can cook. Is that masculine or feminine? I, I
Yes,
can cook. I can cook my butt off. At the end of the day, when a man is in that kitchen and he is serving up some hash brown potatoes, I'm like, see, it is what it is. Like, I don't get it. It's too much.
yeah, and
yeah.
it's
The
and
cooking,
it,
the
It's too
cooking
much.
is
I
one
mow the
thing.
lawn. All the gas, all the power tools at this house got gas. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's therapeutic for me.
cutting the grass is
Okay,
therapeutic.
It's a power wash
so
over here. It has accessories. I be out there. I love it. It is something that I love. I love to do it. I hate
so my
when
next
the guy got to come and cut the grass because I'm busy. I hate it. But I love getting out there and working on the lawn.
my neighbor's next door from El Salvador. His wife loves to cut the grass. She does all the yard work, right? But needless to say, the
Mhm.
men in this community, they look at him like, "What's wrong with him?" Right? Because it's unusual, right? And she does, but I mean, uh, it's just the way it is. A lot of
In
men look
Tim's
at him like,
building, the
but
whole
this
maintenance staff are women. They're Hispanic women. The whole maintenance staff, Hispanic women.
that's an anomaly. You don't normally see that. That's some kind of
And
isolated
listen,
case. Come on now. How often do you see it?
and listen, and they put up drywall, and they get in their carts, and they go shovel snow. They
Pick up
come in, they change.
appliances,
Yeah, they change all
maybe in
the
the wash
appliances.
machine.
They do everything.
They're the whole maintenance staff. The whole
How,
maintenance staff are Hispanic females.
and how many African American female all maintenance staffs have you seen?
Oh, we know somebody got a whole channel. Got a whole channel, the appliance, the whole thing.
Many? How many? The question is, how many African
O-
American
over my
female maintenance
lifetime, not
staff?
many. Not
Okay,
over
that's
my lifetime, not many. But what does that
okay.
mean though? Does that mean that women shouldn't do appliance work, or or does it mean it's masculine, or does it mean she liked something and she went into it and it pays her well, and so she just uses the skills that she has?
It means that historically women have not gone into those fields like that.
But I don't think people go into fields like that. I think people just do it. If you understand what I'm saying. For example, whenever you purchase a house, right, or you go into a new apartment, you see something wrong. You like, well, how do I fix that? So you go look it up, or you go to Home Depot, or you go to Lowe's, and you learn how to do it. You just learn how to do. You're not going out here saying like one, and you gotta forgive me, because I come from a background where I seen women of all colors do multiple things. When I lived in Seattle, and I went to like fix the computers over for people that were doing auto body work, it was women in there that was doing all that was learning how to do auto body work. That was just something that they did. I think each I think each city, each location has their own thing. I think in your major cities, you don't see women going into uh, wanting to mow lawns and so forth. But the smaller the city gets, where you don't have a lot of people and other people to rely on, you find people do it themselves. That's just my take.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I think that when you on a date next time, you know, I, the
I'm
man
gonna
just
say I'm gonna say exactly what I want to say. I'm not gonna
I
say I don't
understand.
know how to cut grass. I'm not gonna say I don't know how to. I don't know how to. I don't know how to look and see that my tires are running flat and the signal goes off, and I don't know how to pull over to a gas station and pump some air in my tires to the level that it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be 42s in the back and 35s in the front. Cool. I know I got two different sizes of tires on the front and the back. I know that. I asked the
Right.
questions. I can look and see
I
that.
know
They
where to
tell me that.
find that. The guy I was dating, he came to the house and I was just happened to be in the back mowing grass and didn't hear. And I looked up and he was just like, and then I was edging the grass and I was looking for him and he was following me. He was like, he was so in awe. He was like, man, you need a
Why
lawn
do you think
service or
that?
something.
Why do you think he was so in awe?
I don't know, but I was like,
Oh, come on now, because that's
No,
not
but no, but
normally. That's not
he
what
was in awe,
normally.
not so hold on. It wasn't a negative awe. He was in awe, like,
No.
damn, she really did this.
Right.
because when he
Right.
showed up, I was almost finished. And not only that, she's doing this. Like this is something you do like, and you are handling it. You didn't started it up. You were walking around here like you got your hat on, you got your whole outfit on. Like this you do this. This like you are not playing with this. Same thing when I rode my motorcycle. Men would coddle me and ride all slow, and we hit the highway, and I speed off on them, and they were like, "Oh, so you know how to ride this?" Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not about to get over here and risk my life for some fad thing. Like, this is what I do. This is what I enjoy, and I'm going to do it to the fullest. Thank you, but keep up.
Okay.
Keep up. Let's
Yeah,
go. Let's hit it.
yeah, and so and this is the other thing too. Like for me, I think whenever you're sitting down and you're talking about two people wanting to get together to date, right? I think you have to have an open and honest communication, right?
True.
You
Right.
and what I find is, and this is just what I find, that if a woman is too open with communication, it becomes an issue. I've been told by a few men, like, what man would want to date you when you already have a house and you already have nice cars? What man would want to date you? And then you add then you do an actual assertion of that person. They've never made over 60,000. So then you have to ask the question of, like, even if I didn't have those things, what would be your end goal for us if we were dating? If what would be your plan, right? And it's usually no plan. So I always sit back and say, for me and for everyone, and this is what I've always said on this show, on this channel: go make as much money as you can for a man and for a woman, because we don't know what life has in store for us. You don't know what positions you're gonna be put in. You just don't know. And if
Right.
you have the ability to make the 10 million, the 50 million, and 100 million, why wouldn't you do that as a person? And if you have the ability to do it with someone, why wouldn't you do it with someone? I never understood the limitations of let me downplay who I am and cower. Because when I go in other rooms, And I'm looking at these Asian women, and I'm looking at these white women, and I'm looking at these VCs and these people talking to them. They're accepting them as who they are. But when it comes to our community, it's just like, well, you better not say that because somebody gonna feel a certain way about that. And then when you look at the community and all the communities overall, we the motherfucking brokest. So
Not
what?
only this, let me just say this. Let me say this.
Well,
Men
you
work
just
so hard for women and vice versa. But it's just to say a man is going on and he's providing for his family to have all of these things and he's doing what he's supposed to do and he's a good man to that family, to his wife, and something happens to him. God
okay.
forbid something happened to him where he is physically hurt, where he can't do anything, or he passes away or something. He's going to want that his woman could carry their family on and do the thing and not lose everything that he has worked hard to prepare for his family. That's what partnership is about. That if somebody is not 100% at that time, somebody is there to pick up the slack. That's what partnership is about at the end of the day. And you know how many women, even in any nationality, that husband has passed on, something happened to them, and they don't know nothing. And they just like, I don't know nothing. They can't keep nothing up. Then y'all both living in the garbage can. Like, that's not my life. That ain't my life. It's never gonna be my life. And the man that come in my life, he gonna know that ain't my life. That ain't my life. I need to know these things in order to prepare. That's it. How are you gonna prepare? How are you gonna be planning if you don't know nothing? And it's good to have the financial means to pay somebody to do it, but not know nothing. That don't make no sense.
And it is
You don't meet me and I'm just a blank slate. I'm a whole human being. I'm a whole person. I'm multifaceted. I'm not about to dim my life for nobody. You're not, when you meet me, whether it's behind the YouTube, whether it's on the street, you're getting full me. It's not a representative. In 3 months, in 6 months, I'm not going to change. I am the same person.
yeah,
This is
and
what I do. This is what I like to do.
I know
And I
you
do, lady, I can crochet, I can sew, I can knit, I can fix the toilet. Me and Tam been on the roof at when she first bought her house with a snake. We didn't rent, like, what? What if it's I'm gonna figure it out? I'ma do it.
yeah, I was all on the roof. Anyway, but Q4, you was about to say something and D was talking. I want to give you the floor.
I don't know. I forgot now. It's okay. No, no. I know what I was gonna say. Okay, so about the meeting someone, and then
Uh-huh.
so basically, when the guy's telling you that, he's just trying to figure out where's my place gonna be in your life, right? And why
That's
do
a
you
him
need me?
problem.
If you have all of these things, but but it's one of those things
Things.
where
You notice you said things. You notice you
yeah,
said
yeah,
things.
yeah. But it's a situation where there is two things going on right here, right? So
Mm-hmm.
in your case, you have much more than the average person. Okay, so
Possibly.
the person that you deal with has to um,
Be
that
secure
person
with who
has
he is. That's it.
it's not just that though. It's
It
not that
is.
it
I'm
but
literally. Hold on.
I'm telling you,
Hold on.
I'm telling you
You
about a man
disputing
and I'm
what
a
I'm
man.
telling you though. I'm
Yeah, yeah.
telling you what
But I'm a man.
what I'm looking for.
Listen to me though. Listen, this is. I'm not trying to put you in pain. I'm just trying to
No,
share
no, no,
something.
no. Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, all right. Here's the thing, right? We meet people at different stages in life. When you
Mm-hmm.
meet a man, he's trying to figure out, okay, well, if you, in most instances, people either have their own and then they come together, or one person has more than the other. He's trying to figure out as a man, then where do I add value to your life? If you have most of the things that people get when they get them by being married. And
But that's
so,
what I'm saying. But that's what
but
I'm
that's not.
saying to you, Q
Hold on,
Ford.
easy. That's not a penalty for you. What
But
I'm
no, but
trying
that's
to
what I'm
get.
saying to you, Q4. It goes back to originally what we said was you keep equating men to things,
Uh,
right?
okay,
You're
okay,
equating like, oh, she already has a house, right? So where do we, if I can't, so I can't get the house, she already got that. I can't get the car because she already had it. So if she already has that, what does that mean for you as a man? Who are you as a man?
Who are you as a person? Who are you as a human? Who are you as is Q? If I'm crying, can you console me? If I have an issue, can you help me think it out? Are you compassionate? Like what else are you what else besides the things? Because things come and go. We can lose all these things. But when we lose these things, who are you going to be?
I could sell everything tomorrow. I can sell my house. I can sell all of my cars. I can sell all that tomorrow. I can go sell everything I have.
but you're not going to though.
But you don't know that though.
But the thing about it is, even if she has a house, why can't
Okay,
even if she has a house, it can say, "Well, your house need to be painted." What's going on with the house? Are you okay? It looked like it needed a new roof. You have you called anybody? I may know some people. Like one thing, one thing a homegirl just told
right.
me. She said, "Dion,
What
you
you
are a multiplier." She said, "You always come in a situation leaving more." That's what I need people to go into. If I already have stuff, how do you multiply that? If she got one house, how can we get two? How can we get three? Why
right?
isn't the
That's
thought process? She's smart enough to buy a home. What else does
right.
this woman have up under there? I need to know her.
That's the other part I was trying to get to. She wouldn't let me get to it.
But
I was
because
trying
I
to get
wanted
to
you
the.
to, because I wanted you
I
to
was trying
stop.
to get
Because
to what you just said.
I really wish I really wish I really wish men in general, and I'm not picking on you, in general, would stop equating themselves to just things. Because that's not. Because I'm gonna be totally transparent. That's not how I look at men. I don't look at, and I never looked at men as things. I think that's what aches me the
You
most.
may be the exception to the rule in that.
But
You may
because
be
I
the
look because
exception
I
to the
no because I look at you as a human first. I look at you as a
Okay,
human
yes,
being
but
first.
you may be the exception to the rule in that. We
I
don't live in
but
that
but
kind of
but
world.
okay, so I'm gonna pull the card. You just need to pick better women. I'm
I
just
don't have
playing.
a problem with women like that. I
I'm
don't have
just
that
playing.
issue.
I'm just playing. It's
Yeah,
a joke. I'm
I
just
don't have that
playing. It's
issue.
just playing. I'm just playing. But what
Yeah,
I'm
I
simply
have
saying
the
is this:
issue. I have the issue.
I don't look at
Have the
men
issue
as a
similar to
provision.
yours,
Yeah, I don't look at men as provision,
right?
and I never have. I have always looked at men as, can he and I get together and make something great, and what
Right,
skill sets does he have, and what skill sets do I have that we can come together and make this great thing. I used to be like, man,
right,
we should have our, because we were so smart. I was like, we should have our own magazine where we talk about tech and physics and cartoons and stuff like that. We should have this. I've always looked at people, and I do that now. And everybody who knows us at this point know I look at everyone for the skill sets that they have. How can we enhance the skill sets that you have to make you greater, and so that you can do what you want to do and enable you to what you and who you want to be and what you want to see in your life. I have always looked at that.
So my parents were like, I grew up in a household with the mindset that the two of you all have, right? I grew up
Hmm.
in that mindset. But
Hmm.
having lived a lot and dated a lot of women, I'm not saying I dated all women. I'm not saying that, but I'm
Hmm.
saying that a lot of people that you come across don't have that same mindset. That's You don't find that a lot.
Yeah, and I agree with that. But what I'm simply saying is, just because you don't find it a lot doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And
I
just
agree.
because
I agree.
and just because
I
you
agree.
don't run into it all the time means that you should do more to embrace it when you do get it, right? And not try to take the person and box them into some narrative that you heard some people say. Put them in the narrative where y'all can grow, and you can nurture each other. I don't know why this is such a foreign concept. And then it goes back into, well, man, a woman doesn't nurture a man nurtures a woman. But at the end of the day, when you get sick and you 65 and you over there, you on in the walker and you can't see, she's nurturing you. And she's 65 and she nurturing you, nurturing her. So at some point we're gonna nurture each other. I don't care what nobody talking about. You gotta like me. I gotta love you. We here, make it work, right? But
Yes, I agree.
it gets so convoluted out here, and all these conversations that and it's so funny to me because I see the narrative. The narrative is, if I can keep y'all bickering and arguing with each other over here, I'm going to continue to grow our wealth over here. And we're going to use these talking points that y'all been doing, using and talking about, to create create more drama and contrast while we're over here building more wealth. Like, I just look at a headline where China came in into Florida and California and bought $6 billion worth of real estate. If I could keep you from buying the real estate and arguing about that, right, I can go do more with what I have, right?
I agree
So
with that.
we get caught up in all these conversations about nothing, to the fact we can't even produce. We can't even, we're not even producing. Like, we don't even have more houses for ourselves, right? So we're not even buying more houses. We can't afford to buy houses because we don't have the skill set to go make the money that we need. So we still over here bickering about getting skill sets. Like, make it make sense.
Who gonna lead the what to get the
Like,
what? Like, let's just get it.
what are we arguing about?
So
And we can't
so
even
what?
we can't do basic stuff. We can't even buy a house. We can't even go buy a multiplex. We can't even all live in the same damn house. Like, we can't even buy one damn house and have two families live in that one damn house until we all get
Right.
some money to go off and do something else. We can't even come
I
together to
did
do
it.
that.
I did it. I was like, let's let. I was married to a twin. I said, look, every time we go house hunting, they be with us. What we gonna do? I had a conversation with his brother's girlfriend at the time. I had a conversation with him. We had a conversation as a family to move into one big house in a great neighborhood. So by the time that we left that house, we can either build on the property that we had, or we can get our dream houses and go our
How
separate
many
ways.
acres was
I
that?
felt it was a stepping stone, given of what I saw when I grew up, because my family all lived in the same house. My grandmother had a 3-story flat. My whole family lived in that 3-story flat. All of my people lived together. Asians live together, Hispanics live together. It just made sense for me. We don't have to struggle. Let's go ahead and build wealth. And boy, was that I learned so much about people during that process. I learned so much about people where we broke up during that process. Like, it like, in order to be a leader, you gotta be able to follow as well. Like, if it's too many chiefs, who gonna be the Indian? Somebody gotta do the work. Let's do the work.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
So so I agree with everything that you all are saying. But I do, and no pushback at all. There's only going to be a select amount of our people that's going to do that. So if when you just accept
But
that fact.
so let me ask you this, Q4. Why do you think it's gonna only be a select amount?
Because our people are different. And I'm not saying different good or different bad, but our people
Mhm.
are different. And when I say different, I mean like this. You can take a group of people that know you and you can
Mhm.
say, I'm going to go do this. And that group, the same group of people, let's say it's 10 people, okay? And you'll say, I'm gonna go make in the next 6 months, I'm going to make $4 million. And those group
Mm-hmm.
of people are going to say, they're going to doubt within themselves that you're going to, they won't say anything, but they're going to watch you, right? And so if you go and you make the money in what you say, I'm just picking an example, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
go and you are successful, that group of people is going to say, I knew you could do it all over. There's something special about you. I knew you're just a different kind of person. All right, now,
Mm-hmm.
if you go and try and you fail, the same group of people will say, I knew she wasn't going to do it no way. She's trying to, go past what she's able to do. I knew she wasn't going to be able to
I
do
mean,
that.
that's
Same
expected,
group of
right?
people, exact same
There's
group of people.
there's
So,
that's
and
expected. So
because
that's across the board. That's across
whatever
all
reason,
races. That's across the board.
right?
That,
But in our people, only a select few of us are gonna absolutely make it. It's just what it is.
and it's okay.
It's
But you know what?
sad, but what I'm
But
saying
that's
to
the
you
law.
is
That's
true.
That's
Because
law of
otherwise,
nature, though.
there would be 300 in Lincoln County.
but
It's what kind
again,
of
Q4,
nature?
it's okay that
Human
that
nature.
a certain group of people are going to make it. It's okay, right? The point I'm making is
Right, right,
we still gotta go. We still gotta move forward, right? We can't be stuck
well, we,
back
we are moving
here
forward.
trying to figure out why they not coming. We just gotta keep going, right? And when it's time to hire those that didn't want to come along, we'll hire them. We still gotta go though. And what I'm saying
I
is,
agree.
what I'm saying is, we're not going. That's what I'm saying. Like this conversation over here is a distraction to the
Yes,
bigger conversation of, like somebody had said, why we're not making family offices, right? And I actually have that up on my screen, but that is the conversation. Why are we not owning billions of real estate? What is that looking like? Why are we not taking leveling up to the point where we're like, okay, well, I built this subdivision and I'm gonna rent the subdivision out. I'm holding, and
right,
I'm gonna rent out all 40 units. I'm not giving that up. Oh, and by the way, it sits on a lake. Why are we not in why are we not bickering about those conversations? We don't bicker about those conversations. We
right.
bicker
But
about we
don't
bicker
worry
we
about it.
bicker we bicker about, can she cook? Do she need a cookbook, or she need to know how to do it? Well, that cookbook is great. Good, she know
Right.
how to cook. But and I said it before and I say it again. We're at the point now where for me, this is my own personal view. This is not the view of D. This is Tameika's view. If you got roaches in your house, your roaches need an Instagram. Everybody needs to be working. Everything in your house need to be working. Everybody, if you got roaches, if you got rats, if you got 4 5 dogs, if you are a hoarder, I don't care. Whatever, everything in the house needs an Instagram and needs to be work. You need to get some ads. I don't give a damn. Whatever it, everything need to be working. That's just how I look at it.
I believe
I
everything needs
agree
to be
with that.
working, but I prefer not to have roaches.
I get
But
it.
if kids is cute and they always over there smiling, yeah, hey, they can pay for college. Like I get it, I get it.
Well, listen, let's just do the things that you talk about. Don't worry about the other folks. Let's
Oh, I
just
ain't
get it
worried
done.
about
We
them.
not.
We not.
Yeah.
That's right. Let everything that has breath in this house be considered on Instagram. Put it to work. If you
Right.
get moths that come once a week, take a picture. This moth is back. Put the moth to work on Instagram,
Terribleness.
TikTok.
Terrible,
I don't
terrible,
care.
terrible.
Everybody working in this
Yeah.
spot. In this spot, no one gets a break. That's how I
Are
see
we ready to
So
do the introduction?
it.
We've been on
okay,
here for an
I'm
hour talking about this TDJ stuff. Just see how easy that stuff gets you off the rails. It gets you off your path.
It's
And
not
if
on.
this is
It's
not
not
an
off the path. It's
example
still on the
of
path.
how this gets you off your path,
okay. I'm
Put
gonna
the
drop
work to
off and
somebody.
listen to the rest.
thank you. We appreciate your comments,
Thank you for coming
your
up.
clarification. Thank
Thank you
you.
all. Thank you all too.
You're welcome. Do we need to do a word from our sponsors, or we just need to get into it?
We need a word from and now a word from our sponsor.
We need a word from our sponsors.
Goodness. I'm like, is it 3:39 already? Yes. Crazy. Let me pull up a word from our sponsor. You guys get your notepads out from a word from our sponsor.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Women in Linux. I am Tam, and Dee is in the background. And we just want to share with you some of the perks of being here on our channel. All right, so first things first, if you want to connect with us on social media, connect with us anywhere on social media at Women in Linux. If that's just too much for you, you can always come and find us on womeninlinux.org. And if that's not enough, we have even more perks where you can hit the connect button. Once you hit connect button, you put your email address in here, and once you put your email address in here, it'll connect with us in our Slack group. We have tons of resources in our Slack group. People looking for jobs, people just looking for advice, people looking for information, and so forth. Right. So again, this is Slack. It's not Discord. So on with using Slack, warn you, it is resource heavy. So you may need to use either the web browser, or if you're on your phone, you should be fine. But if you're on your desktop, and we know most of you connect on your computer, it's easier to open it up in your web browser so it doesn't take up so much memory or so many processes and so forth. That's just an FYI. That's how I use it. Okay. And if you would like to shop with us, we still have our stuff from our 5 year stuff. Still good. We're working on more T-shirts. No, no estate, no date. We're still working on that. But again, if you want to shop and you want to get some merch, feel free to come here and get some merch. Again, if you come over here and click on all products, you'll see on all the products that we have, from hoodies to masks and so forth and so on. Right. And if that isn't good enough for you, you can donate. You can always donate with your time. You can donate with your money. So, how do you donate with your time? You donate with your time by saying, hey, I would like to do a presentation, or I like to volunteer on helping us grow the channel. You retweet, you share this with other members. In fact, for those of you that come here every single week, we know you come here every single week and you don't subscribe. Subscribe. That helps us grow the channel. That helps us get more content to you. Hey, research isn't easy. I'm not getting paid to do research. I wish it was at a university, but hey, I'm bringing this to you, right? I'm bringing this to you and us and for others, right? So if that doesn't work, you can always donate on PayPal by clicking the donate button. Once you hit the donate button, you have your own denominations in which you can donate. And if that doesn't work for you, you can always reach out to D and you can cut a check and send a check. That works for us as well. All right. So, what are some other things that we actually do have as well? Right. So, we have a discount with IT Pro TV. You get 30% off. I've used IT Pro TV myself. I've done interviews with them. I'll pull those up as well too. But as you can see, I'm logging into IT Pro TV. What are the benefits here? You need to learn how you learn. So, one of the things you can do in IT Pro TV, you can come over here, you can click on courses, and it gives you a list of courses that's separating them out by certification, and also separate them out by learning paths. You're like, Tameika, what does that mean? My four basic principles or my four basic foundations of skill sets that you should have is Linux. You should also have an automation tool, whether it's Terraform or Ansible. You should know at least a cloud. I don't care. Pick either one. And finally, last but not least, security. And security comes in multiple forms: security of the operating system, security of the application, and also security of containers. right? And cloud security. So it's multiple facets when we're talking about security. Those are your four basics that you're going to need to to get you a job and then move you up. All right. And we're going to talk about our membership here in another video, but I just want to get this out to you. All right. So that's 30% off of IT Pro TV. And last but not least, our Calendly. We have set up for our Calendly. Let me pull that up. I think I have it saved in my browser here, so I can just go straight to it. If not, I'll get it from D here. Here we go, right here. All right. So with Calendly, we have one-on-one sessions. That's where you get to talk to either me or D, and you can request either one. But where you get to talk to us in a one-on-one session, right? Interview prep. Some of you are getting ready for interviews, or you never interviewed before. We want to prep you for an interview. Resume review. Let's go over what you have, or let's pull all your skills together. Let's get things formatted properly. Let's get everything going. And last but not least, career assessment. What is your journey? What could it look like? What could you be going through? What are your next steps? Some of you are transitioning, some of you are not, some of you are looking to transition, and some of you are just trying to figure out what is your next step. So by saying all of this, we want you to enjoy your time here at Women in Linux. And also, as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the share button, and last but not least, thank yourself that you actually did it. One other thing I should add, also been doing helping people with business plans. So I know I have. It's under my one-on-ones. All right, since we reset the room, we're gonna tech stocks and jobs. We're here we talk about everything from tax strategies to wealth accumulation, wealth planning, and also wealth preservation. We've been on a journey where we talked about prenups versus estate planning. That's where no estate, no date comes from. A lot of you get out here in these YouTube streets and are like, hey, I ain't never getting married because I don't want nobody to take half. That's fear. And you can actually go into looking into doing estate planning, or you can look at prenups, either or. But from what I've been reading, estate planning is better than prenups, right? So go ahead and take care of that, right? Don't let that hold you back from your true love, unless you want to put your roaches to work. But again, I
That
digress.
conversation wore me out. Like, um, beat down mentally. Like, I just want to go and sit on the couch and take a nap. Like, I don't get it.
All right. But today we're going to talk about some tax strategies. And again, as you all know, I've talked to you about this before, where we follow the three bucket strategy. There are other strategies. I've talked about them before. You can go on Investopedia and you can look up the different tax strategies. I think the three bucket tax strategies make sense. I think it's the easiest. And don't forget, you may start out with the three bucket strategy, excuse me, and then later on in life switch to another strategy, right? So you don't have to use the three bucket your whole entire life. Just an FYI. All right, so three buckets. What we talking about? We're talking about tax now, tax deferred, and after tax, right? And usually your tax deferred are your 401ks, your Roths, anything that's like it says, it's tax deferred. What happens with tax deferred when you're looking at those tax strategies? Hey D, when you're looking when you're looking at those tax strategies, you're looking at when you're looking at those tax strategies, you also have to look at a couple of things. One, RMDs, required minimum distributions, right? And I think right now it's 72. It may or maybe 71 and a half or something like that. Anyway, those required minimum distributions, meaning that money has to come out. And when that money comes out, it's going to be taxed. So now you're looking at, well, I don't want all my money taxed. So say you got 5 million in a in tax deferred accounts, and you want to pull that money out, right? Should you do a Roth conversion? Go ahead and do a Roth conversion of that, or do you leave that money there and just let it grow and then pull that money out. Again, you need, this is not financial advice. You do need to seek, I'm gonna say, a tax strategist, and I'm also gonna say you need to seek a CPA and a financial advisor, or do wealth planning with a company that has everything under that, right? But again, what does that look like for you? We've been talking about this goal, right? One goal was for everyone to be at 200,000 at a minimum for your salary. The other goal is, what does retirement look like for you? Is that 10 million? Is that 50 million? Is that 100 million? What is your plan to get there? What does that look like? When you gain a new skill set, you add a new asset. Becoming an accredited investor, minimum of 200K for the last 2 years to be an accredited investor. But you could also have $1 million worth of assets, or you could go past the Series 65, or you can roll in under a fund that has managed that has over $1 million in assets under management, where someone can vouch for you that you understand those things, or you may be a fund manager, right? So there's different ways. You can also find that out on the IRS or Investopedia as well too. But what I'm simply saying is, you can't get in the room if you're not in those ranges for those conversations, right? And in those rooms that I'm speaking of, and let me go to my Slack here and pull up things about deals. This is a deal section here, and let me pull that up, right? And now I can read off a deal for you, right? Let me pull off one here. All right, so this one right here is, here's a deal right here, right? Um, we're currently raising two real estate funds. We have 280 million under assets, 70 commercial properties, 3 million square feet of property. 25 million is to be raised, 13 million committed to this date. It has a 30 an IRR 30.2%, right? And they're looking for a minimum of and they're going into storage units and mobile home parks and industrial assets. But you may need to be in uh you may need to come in at 50,000 or 100,000 and be an accredited investor. But you can't be, if you're not an accredited investor, you can't even be a part of that conversation, right? So that's what I mean about the accredited investor, and why being a part of that being able to be a part of that conversation is important, right? That's what I mean about that, right? So on here I have some. Let me pull this up, make sure I get the right one. Here we go. On here, I found some books. These, when I tell you, I have these books right here. I have this book right here, the book on tax strategies for savvy real estate investors. This is from Bigger Pockets. And I also have Advanced Tax Strategies as well too. That's another book. But I wanted to find out what other books that were out there for tax strategies, right? So you can go on Kindle, or you can look on Kindle, or go to the bookstore or Amazon or whatever your choice is, and just look up tax strategies, especially tax strategies for high net worth individuals. And we're gonna get into some conversations today that are gonna be some big numbers. And I want to say this: just because they're big numbers, don't mean they're not achievable. You just gotta have the right people, the right mindset, and be willing to do the work in order to get there. I know we talk about big numbers over here, and people are like 10 million, 50 million, hogwash, we call BS or whatnot. But then the question is, what's your retirement goal? What's your retirement plan? Is your retirement plan that you're gonna buy some land now, build a house now, and then come back and retire in like 15 years on that land and that property that's already paid for? Is that something that you're gonna do? It's something you got to think about. Is that going to be your goal? Well, what's your goal for retirement? Is the question, right? Tax free wealth by Tam Wheelwright. Yeah, yeah, by Tom Wheelwright is another one. Yep, yep. And again, I spark these conversations because I want you to start thinking about it now. Don't wait till you get 55, 65, 75 and have these conversations. Have these conversations now. Have these have these conversations on dates. Had these conversations all day. I actually sat down and had a conversation with a guy about it, and he was excited about it. I meet random people, and they just be just excited to talk about it. Met a guy yesterday in the airport. He was just excited to talk about tax strategies. He said, "What you need to do is this, and when you do this, do that. Go into debt buying assets. It's okay. Buy all the assets. Go buy all the real estate you can. It's okay to have mortgages. It's good credit, bad credit. It's good. That's what I'm talking about. I enjoy those conversations. Give me ideas. Let me spark. Let me go look up stuff. I don't know everything. I'm on a journey like everyone else is, but I've kind of narrowed down what I want that to look like. So I bring it to you, and you don't have to take it and run with it, but at least you know about it. At least you can have a conversation about it. At least you know where to go look this stuff up. What does it mean when someone talks about it? You can at least be in the conversation versus like I have no clue what they're talking about. It's nothing like being in a room with people and you don't know nothing and you're just sitting there soaking up stuff and you got to go look it up and look it up and what he say, what did he say, what did he say, right? That kind of thing, right? Just be able to be in the conversation. All right, so family office. We talked about this earlier. Family offices. So family offices are private wealth management advisory firms that serve ultra high net worth individuals. They are different from traditional wealth management shops in that they offer a total outsourced solution to managing the financial and investment side of affluent individual or family. It could be an individual or a family that has a family office, right? All right. For example, many family offices offer budgeting, insurance, charitable giving, wealth transfer, and tax services, right? Family offices. All right. These are key takeaways, but we're gonna go down here. Understanding a family office provides a wide range of services tailored to meet the high net worth individuals, from investment management to charitable giving advice. Family officers may offer a dedicated team of specialists to service these clients. So you ask, I'm gonna pause right here and we're gonna come back. You ask who are some example of some family offices. Well, here we go. I went ahead and found some for you. All right. The Cascade Investment Group, right, is a family office. We're talking 170 billion in assets. I'm not sure how old this is. This may be because Bill Gates is added on. Walton Enterprises is a family office. Bezos Expedition is a family office, and these are in the billions, right? Mouse Partners, the Fidessa, the Dubai Holding, Athos, the Soros family, right? And then the list goes on. In total, across the world, is 10,000 family offices, right? 10,000 family offices across the world. And you ask what is contained in those family offices. This goes back to the conversation we had on the first show when we were talking about family offices are looking to preserve wealth as much as they can. So they look for things to preserve that wealth. Anything that's going to add wealth to their total bottom line is what they're looking for. So paintings, art, uh, buying businesses, research into something. Those charitable organizations come right back to them, right? That money comes right back to them, but we won't get in. We'll get into that a little later, right? But again, we're talking about the ability to have a family office, usually starting at 100 million. For I think a single family office is 100, and then the multi-family office I think is around about 10 million. right? So, what does that look like for your family, where you're able to acquire assets, have this managed under different trusts, different estates, whatever the case may be? Well, we're leaving behind legacy, and you can control legacy for a very long time, right? If you got things done correctly, right? So, get back to the definition of family office. Family run businesses may require structures for succession planning, such as trusts or a foundation for the family assets. Given the complexity of these situations, clients may utilize a family office to help manage the assets that align interests. The family office can also handle non-financial issues such as private schooling, travel arrangements, and miscellaneous household arrangements. Family offices are either defined as single family offices or multi-family offices. Single family offices serve just one ultra affluent family, where multifamily offices are closely related to traditional private wealth management practices, seeking to build their businesses upon serving many clients. Multifamily offices are more prevalent in economies of scale that allow for cost sharing among clientele, right? And then they go into many disciplines of the family office and so forth: legacy planning, lifestyle management, strategies to help maximize income. And that was it right there, right? And I showed you this one, and now we're gonna hop over here to this one. All right, so this here, I looked up: do I need a family office? A guide to for the rich and the not so famous. Ultra wealthy people, including Bill Gates, have family offices, but so about 10,000 others. The family office, is it right for you? Get the answers and take the quiz, right? And there's a quiz on walking you through if the family office is something good for you, right? It's 6,000 in the United States, and they walk you through the traditional family office, the multi-family office, the outsourced family office, right? And they walk you through this: the size of your wealth, the complexity of your life, the priorities of your family. And solely, you see, it's about the family, not necessarily about the person, but the family, right? This is for everybody, right? And they got a little quick test that you could take on evaluating your score and so forth. So I thought that was pretty cool, just to see if a family office is good for you, taking the test, getting some background on it, right? All right, so this one right here: what is a single family office? Let me see. I don't know how long this video is, but I'm gonna play it. It's 1 minute, so we good.
Meet Brett. Brett meets Eric at a multifamily networking conference. Eric tells Brett that he works at a single family office SFO. Brett wants to know what a single family office is and its importance. Eric explains that a single family office is a wealth management firm for high net worth families, typically with a minimum of $10 million in investable securities. Single family offices help assist families in a variety of ways, including wealth management activities, estate planning, tax optimization, charitable giving, and many other areas that help administer their clients' wealth and overall lifestyle. Eric goes on to say that single family offices get paid a premium from their clients in the use of their services. Brett wants to know why someone would need to use a single family office. Eric explains that it takes a lot of effort and expertise to successfully manage high net worth families. Imagine just the paperwork if you had 100 different investments to keep up with. Eric states that it's very beneficial to have a team of highly experienced professionals to help make educated decisions regarding all aspects of wealth management. Brett is excited to now understand the role of single family offices and the factors they play in helping high net worth families.
So when we start talking about this, right? When I go and I'm looking at, and I'm talking about 10 million for your retirement, right? There's a reason for that, right? To start the 10 million, to begin the actual, hey, if nobody else in my family has ever done it, why can't I be the first to do it, to set my family up for a family office for generations to come, right? So why can't I go in and say, okay, well, 10 million is good to start, but let's push it up because we know we got inflation and taxes, and let's do maybe 15, 20 million. So that's why I brought in the conversation of if I have a plan for 10 million in 20 years, how can I how can I cut that in half and do it in 5 to 10 years? What does that look like? How can we speed up the process, right? What is it? What are you going to do to get there? And that's the conversation I wish we were having. I hope that we're having. We're having it now, but that's the plan, right? Somebody said, I'm in the certification training. Can I get the link to that video? Tell me the one that I just did. That one, I have posted. Right. So then let's look at. He gave you an overview of what it was, and this text is not that clear. I mean, it's not that dark. Not a dark text, so it's kind of hard to see. But I'll make it as big as possible there. Blow it up a little more there. Yeah, we go. That looks a little better. Compared to typical investment brokerages and wealth management organizations, single family office have a unique organizational structure. Single family offices include various large investment groups and wealth management services with just a few back office employees. And remember, we talked about this in a fund, right? We talked about the back office in the fund, right? For our discussion below, the terms of family office and single family office are utilized interchangeably, right? So that's just a warning there, right? Oh, he said what a single family office is. I won't read through that. Looking for my thing. There you go. Overall, the sole function of the management group is to ensure the personal wealth, goals, and concerns of its owners are pursued in a conflict free and independent manner. Families might develop a family office to support their general financial requirements after the sale of a family business or another considerable liquidity occasion. Every family workplace is as distinct as the family it serves. Family workplaces can provide a vast array of services consisting of financial services, risk management, wealth planning, investment management, tax planning, and tax strategies. And we're going to talk about tax strategies. It's estate planning and preparation, and we talked about estate planning and preparation. As I've been gearing you up towards certain things, general advisory, philanthropic preparation, family education, and multi generational preparation, lifestyle management. We talked about scope creep, lifestyle creep, not scope creep. Uh, Preserve control of their possessions and decision making procedure, gain from a collective purchasing power of the family combined assets, and have a dedicated group committed to assisting and offering. Bottom line, we want to increase the family's wealth because we're all going to benefit from the family's wealth, right? We'll all benefit in some way from the family, right? A multifamily office is a wealth management company that uses personalized service to serve the family. They said family assets up to 20 million, right? Multifamily, right? And then their financial jobs of the family structure, the legal division, the back office support, the private equity and venture capitalists, the real estate division, all of that, right? All big one umbrella where we can see the vision, we can manage it, we know what we're going after, why we're going after that, and so forth, all under one umbrella, right? All right, so here, I don't know if you ever seen this before. 8 top recruiters you need to know if you want to work in a family office, right? So here, as global wealth surges, more people are launching family offices to control their finances. Family offices are poaching talent from private equity firms. You can start a private equity firm. We talked about that. We need to go probably do a master class on that and pull some of that stuff together. Private equity firms and private banks, recruiters, and so forth. Right? Insider has rounded up some of the must-known executive recruiters in this space. Hiring has slowed down on Wall Street and Silicon Valley as the recession fears loom large, but family offices are still looking for talent and are willing to pay top dollar. And are willing to pay top dollar. Now, I'm gonna stop right there and I'm gonna come back because top dollar sparked something in me, and it sparked this. I don't know if you saw this headline. Blackstone is on track to pay nearly $1.6 million per head for 2022. That's per person for 2022, right? What you gonna do with that money? Mhm. All right, so let's look at this article real quick. It's not easy to get a job at Blackstone. Last year, the fund received 29,000 applications for 103 analyst positions, an acceptance rate of 0.4%. Usually, high pay is the main attraction. Blackstone announced its second quarter results today. They revealed the compensation spending in the form of salaries, bonuses, and realized carried interest. Profits shared between investment employees are after successful exits of investments increased 94% in the first half of 2022 to nearly $3.2 billion across the firm. Blackstone doesn't disclose how many people it employs on a quarterly basis, but it's understood to nearly have 4,000 people. The implication, therefore, is that the average Blackstone person earned $795,000 for the past 6 months and will earn nearly $1.6 million for the year. Needless to say, they will be skewed in favor of people at the principal level and above. More junior staff don't get carried interest payments. So when I talk about what do you do with the salaries that you're getting, where they're between 500,000 and $1 million, in this case, $1.6 million, you need to have tax strategies, and these things look a little different, right? These things look a little different because you it's only so much you can do with your 401k, your Roth 401k, maxing out, SEP IRA. You still need that money, still needs to work for you, right? And we're going to get into some stuff. And I think when we get into some stuff, I think you all going to have a lot of questions. If you don't already do, drop a one in the chat if you like what you're hearing, if you're ready for the next leg of the show. All right. Blackstone generosity seems at odds with other aspects of its results. The firm posted a net loss of 255 million in the second quarter by virtue of decline in value of its private equity portfolio. However, the Wall Street Journal points out that the portfolio increased by 13.3% last year. We realize the interest on investments that have already been exited is booming. Unrealized carried interest on investments that yet to be exited is not. In the first half of 2021, this was 2.2 billion. The first half of 2022 is nine minus 904 million. Blackstone investment professionals need to hope the markets recover, or the future may be less lucrative than the past. Right. So we're talking about $1.6 million. 1.6 million. So let's go back over here to Business Insider. What do you need, right? Family offices looking to grow their direct investing and private markets capabilities, poaching investors and wealth advisors from private equity firms and private banks. Executive recruiters told Insider just over half of the world's family offices, expect to spend more on staff, including hiring, salaries, bonuses, and according to UBS Family Office Survey published in June. In the US, 80% plan to spend more on talent. We got to keep our money up. We can't let our money go, right? So here's some family office people, that are working. Derek Braddock. I won't read all this stuff, but Brian Davis, Major Lindsay in Africa. Neil, I guess, Krusenberger, Linda Mack from Mack International, Sarah Burley Reed. And if you think like me, I go follow them on LinkedIn, and I go follow them on Twitter. Let's see what they talking about. What y'all doing? Where you moving money to? Oh, I need to be looking at it as an investment. That's what I'll be doing. Jeff Warren of Russell Reynolds Associates. Farah, I guess I'm gonna screw that up. Yagav, I guess. Selby Jennings. Julia Zorn from Stephen Douglas. I'll go look these folks up. That's what I would be doing and seeing where what they who they what they who they follow, two what they're investing in, and do they tweet out stuff, and then three just see whatever other information you can find. That's what I would be doing. I want to know. I want where do they go eat at? Do they post something on Instagram? Where do they go eat at? Where do they go eat at, and why they go eat there? Do they have a routine, right? Who they meeting up with? I want to know. It's kind of like you got to become the firm, like the movie, like the movie The Firm, right? All right, so let's get into. We'll talk about dividends later. Let's get into this tax strategies. I wanted to share this one. I know y'all been following this guy, or at least you know I have. I kind of skipped ahead in this one, so let's talk. Let's listen to what he got to say, and then we're gonna get into holding companies.
Rental business, as long as you're renting out a property short-term like an Airbnb for an average period of 7 days or less, you can have a property that you can claim rental losses on. And I have a lot of W-2 and 1099 taxpayers who are now buying Airbnb properties and leveraging this strategy as a loophole around the passive activity loss rules that were created in 1987.
So if I have an Airbnb and I rent it out 7 days or less?
Yep, so it has to be rented out on an average period of 7 days or less per customer, and you have to rent out it more than 14 days in the year. So as long as you rent out the property for 15 days or more with an average customer in there for 7 days or less, you can claim the property as a rental property.
So 1 day is less
than 7 on average.
Yep.
But you have to have a minimum of more than 14 days, because if you have 14 days or less, technically the government doesn't allow for you to claim the rental income. So even if your business rents out your house for 14 days, you can charge yourself rent and not claim the rental income and claim it as a tax deduction on your business.
Okay.
That's the Augusta rule.
Okay. The Augusta rule. Golly, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for that one yet. The passive income.
Passive activity loss rules.
The passive activity loss rules.
Yes.
So, just for understanding.
Yes.
They're saying you have to. I can't just buy a house and then that mitigate my income.
No,
my taxes.
Only way it will is if you're making less than $150,000 adjusted gross income, and even if you are, the government only limits you to $25,000 in losses. So if you're somebody that's making $500 million a year and you buy $1 million property, I can't write off $1 million on your tax return to offset your $1 million in business income. I could though, if you were leveraging a short-term rental property, or if you qualified as a real estate professional, someone who spends 750 hours and half of their time in their real property trader business.
Okay, and I gotta walk it because I'm slow with this, right?
Yeah, we'll take it as slow as we need to.
I need some numbers to work off of. So let's say, for instance, I make $1 million.
Okay.
And I buy a property for $250,000.
Okay.
I didn't pay the whole $250,000. I might have put down 20%.
Leverage.
$50,000.
Okay.
So I put down $50,000. Let's say at this point my mortgage is, let's just say $2,000 a month.
Okay.
I made $1 million in income.
Yep.
I'm talking about after like all my business expenses as an entrepreneur. I brought in $1 million.
Yes.
Which means I probably made a bunch more, whatever. I brought in $1 million out of this property.
Yes.
For $250,000. I put down $50,000, and I'm paying $2,000 a month. How much of this property am I able to offset my having to pay? Let's say that my taxes are 50%.
Yeah.
So
that's probably where they'd be if you had $1 million net income.
Brother, I know. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
It'd be high like that.
So I made $1 million. Meaning
Yes.
I got to pay the government $500,000.
Mhm.
This $250,000 property.
How does it help you?
How does it help?
Okay, so you can do this in one or two different ways. You can leverage the short-term rental strategy, or you can leverage being a real estate professional. Let's just say you don't have time to spend 750 hours managing that property. And let's just say you can't show the government that you spent half of your time managing rentals than your actual day job, right?
And then it real quick. Can I hire somebody and that count as it?
Nope, it cannot. Now you've delegated your what's called your material participation in your real property.
I'm gonna pause right there. Are y'all keeping up? I just want to know are y'all keeping up? Are y'all hearing what we're talking about? This gets back into that $600,000 job that I was talking about, right? When we start seeing these jobs at 600,000, 500,000, $1 million, 1.2 million, 2 million. I posted a job yesterday. I posted a job yesterday for 500,000. What are you going to do with this? Again, what are you going to do to prevent these taxes? That's what I keep talking about. You got to leverage these things, right? How are we going to leverage these things? And we're going to get deep into it today, because I've been following him and looking up stuff and pulling all my thoughts together and going to the IRS and pulling up tax strategies and so forth, right? Yeah, you're gonna have to watch it a few times, but let's get back to it.
You good at this stuff. That's
Yeah.
funny. Good at this stuff. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So yeah, I would disqualify you. And this is why the government got onto all this stuff, right? Because those W-2 employees would just have people property managing. And then they would leverage all the rental losses, right? So let's just say that you bought this property that's $250,000 and you have $1 million net income. You're thinking maybe I'll be able to leverage that $250,000 of building on my tax returns. The question is you bought two different things when you bought that rental property. You bought the land and you bought the building that the property actually sits on, right? Both of them have value. Only one of them the government allows for me to write off.
Okay.
So let's just say of that 250,000, 50,000 was dedicated to the land. The other 200,000 is dedicated to the building. I can write off the 200,000 because this can be depreciated. The government recognizes the building going up and down in value. The reason why is because when you purchase the building and you decided to put it into business purpose by renting it out, it's sitting outside in the rain, the sleet, the snow, right? So the building structure can go down in value, just like your car goes down in value, and the government gives you a write-off for it. So this 200,000, I can take this write-off over the course of time, or I can choose to write this all off in 1 year with a cost segregation study, which is accelerated depreciation, plus leveraging what's called bonus depreciation, which you see a lot of people writing off G-Wagons and vehicles that weigh over 6,000 pounds. I'm essentially choosing to write off your entire building in 1 year. The government will allow me to do so only on what's called personal property. So everything that makes up your property except the structure. Okay, so I'll be able to accelerate that. So maybe I get 180,000.
Oh, I'm sorry, say it again. I'm sorry.
So everything except the building structure. So when a house is being built, you see the wood and everything, that's the structure. But inside the house, you have the flooring, the lights, the nuts, the bolts, the screws, the HVAC, the driveway, the roof. I can write off all of those components. And let's just say that is $180,000 of components, personal property. I can take that on your tax return to offset your 1 million. Now you're thinking, okay, Carlton was only able to offset 180,000. What if I would have bought 3 or 4 more properties and he did the exact same strategy? And so I have clients, who come to me, Carlton, I'm set to make 1.2, I'm set to make 1.4. And I'm asking them, how much time do we have to be able to buy real estate? They let me know, and then we go shopping. Because the goal is for me to create enough depreciation on the tax returns, accelerate that to offset whatever their income is. So if you're somebody that's working a W-2 job and Apple decided to give you a bunch of stock options and you're going from a year in which you made 400,000 to now $1 million, you might want to protect that $1 million now instead of having all that go to Uncle Sam. That's about $500,000 going to Uncle Sam. So rather than just putting money to charity and giving money away, you decide to buy an asset. You're now becoming a partner with the government when you decide to rent it back out. You created a business and the government gives you depreciation. You call me, Carlton, what do I do with the rental? I tell you, we can leverage the short-term rental strategy, or we can become real estate professionals. And we do the exact same strategy. I create these losses on your tax return from something you bought that's already paying you to offset your working income. And then you can become tax-free.
Listen, if I was going to teach you how to make $1 million, would you give me 10,000? Like if I had a course teach you how to make $1 million a year, positive, you're going to make $1 million. Would you give me 10,000? Of course you would. It's no brainer, right?
So, what did we just learn, people? I can't hear you, D. We can't hear you, D.
I love this. We going shopping. We going shopping. That's what we doing. We are going shopping.
He actually is an enrolled agent. And actually, I have an enrolled agent that I'm actually going to bring on this show because we've been talking about what we need to do to leverage some of this stuff. Again, they can. So what I did learn as a tax strategist, they can go back 3 years through your taxes to come up with to help leverage the taxes that you have paid the past 3 years. So we need to find losses, right? Well, we need to find things that you can leverage on that. All right, so let's go to the next one. Did y'all like that one? Tax free, baby, make that $1 million, right? We learn. Call him before you buy the property.
Have him help you set it up before
Have
you
him
start
help to
going
set it up
shopping, so
before
you
you
know
go
what you need to
shopping.
do.
All right. So with that being said, this is a quick one. It may be the same thing, but let me play it and then I'll play another one. All right, so here we go.
Route was because my mother used to go to this event called the Apartment Owners Association. She had spoken at this event since 2008. So I'd been seeing her give these presentations since I was like 14, 15 years old. And all of these people who showed up to these apartment owners events were sitting on millions and millions of real estate, but you would have never noticed by the way that they dressed. I'm talking about flip-flops, sandals, everything that you see at Costco that you can buy, that's what they were wearing. Okay. So but they were dripped in money on the tax return. And that just appealed to me. They had so much time. They never worked. When they came into our office, they sometimes didn't even know what day of the week it was. They were just wanting to hang out and chill. And I'm like, okay, who has this much time? And it was the real estate investors who have this much time because they figured out the game. Who is this tax-free all the time? It's the real estate investors. Why? Because they become partners with the government on a different level than the entrepreneur, right? You see, the entrepreneur is trying to serve people, but you're really serving yourself. If you can turn around and start a real estate business where you're running a rental operation, there's only so much land, and you're going into the biggest system that the government's created, which is the loan system. So if you can leverage OPM and then turn around and rent that property out, you become a partner with the government because they know you're not looking to pay them back immediately. They know you're looking to be in this game with them and earn interest with them. Here's depreciation.
Okay. All right. So that's one. So then I'm going to tell you this one right here. You're going to need to take notes. I had to watch it 3 times. I understood it the first time, but I had to watch it a couple of times. And I have more videos that we're going to go over. But this one right here, I really wanted to talk about when we're talking about creating a holding company. Remember when I told you, when I keep telling you about the 10 million, the 20 million, or you make $1 million in your salary, you're making $500,000, you're taking home, after taxes. What does all this look like? How does this look for you? Buying assets, right? Buying assets, real estate. What are assets? There's the whole list of assets that are out there. Land is an asset. Rental property, quads, apartments, RV parks. The list goes on. What are you going to do to protect yourself in the long run and also protect the taxes on that, right? All still part of wealth accumulation. So when I talk about your estate portfolio, I'm telling you to get with people so you all can see what this looks like. You still have your insurance that you take out, whether it's term, or permanent, right? You still have that, or your annuity. You still have that. That's going to still work for you, but what else can you put in your portfolio to work for you, right? It's okay to go make the money, but now make the money work for you while you go on vacation, right? While you go to sleep, while you entertain friends, while someone is getting married or whatever. All right? That's all I'm saying. All right, so I'm telling you to take notes. It's gonna get complicated. I'll drop the link to this video as well too. I'm going to tax shelter services. Uh, you might. I'm actually working on ah ah deep. Put the video back up.
Every single week, new and exciting tax laws that you can use inside of your business or your organization, whether you're an investor, a W-2 taxpayer, or someone who's just getting into the tax realm, welcome. In this video, we're going to be discussing holding companies. Holding companies are different than your operational company because they have different responsibilities. And when you're thinking about taxes and being a business owner, you're always looking for ways in which you can leverage other resources or other tax avenues to avoid your tax bill.
Taxation is theft.
One of the ways in which you can avoid taxes legally is by setting up another business that has different responsibilities from your existing business. Let's dive in.
Although, and I want to pause this because I want to say, go do your research on him. But he also gets his game. He get it from his mama. I'm just playing. But he does. He gets it from his mom. His mom is the one that taught him about tech strategies and so forth. And she already had the business. You heard him say he had been seeing his mom doing this at 14 and 15. He's been around this forever, right? Find out who his mom is. That's really the way you want to be, right? So let's get back to it.
So when it comes to thinking about entity layering, I want you guys to look at it like a house, okay? At the top of the house is the roof, and typically the roof is the trust because the trust is going to own everything because in the event that you die, you want everything passed off to your beneficiaries, right? So you're probably going to take it upon yourself to establish a trust. But the trust owns the title to your LLCs. And if I have multiple LLCs, because I decided to invest in investment properties and put each investment property inside of a separate LLC, I can get to a place where I'm dealing with a ton of tax liability. Excluding the trust, you're receiving income from each LLC that all goes to your personal tax return. Because LLCs are flow-through entities, which means all the income flows over to the person who owns those entities. Now, if you have LLCs that are owning your investment properties, you may get to a place where you say, Carlton, how can I avoid some of the taxes associated with all of my investments? And rather than going directly towards depreciation and trying to accelerate depreciation, we might say, hey, let's set up a parent company. A parent company has a different responsibility than your existing LLCs. In most cases, the parent company becomes a management company. When you set up a management entity, the management entity can hold assets that the current entity does not hold. When I say assets, I'm talking about some of your personal assets that you might have that you don't want to put inside of your existing operational LLC. For a lot of my clients that have investment properties, they will have their investment properties sitting inside of an LLC, but the only expenses that are really coming out of that LLC are expenses associated with just that property. So if they're doing maintenance on the property, fixing the washer, dryer, stove, countertop, the expenses are going to come directly out of that LLC. But then they will have a management company that is the parent company or the holding company for their existing LLC. If you have a management company that's the parent company for your existing LLC, then your management company can hold your personal assets. This can be your car, cell phone, home office, retirement. because you can have retirement accounts, or it can even have some of your children's retirement inside of this new entity structure. So if I'm an existing LLC owner and I have $25,000 coming over from LLC number 1, and I have $25,000 in passive income coming over from LLC number 2, and I have $25,000 in passive income coming over from LLC number 3, I can set up LLC number 4 and ask LLC 1, LLC 2, and LLC 3 to pay LLC number 4 a management fee. Now, let's say that LLC number 4 was paid a management fee of $10,000 from each of these entity structures. That means that between these 3 entities, we can record a $30,000 tax deduction because they're paying out an expense. Management is an expense that gets to be recorded on the LLC's tax returns. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me in this video. I wanted to interrupt it to say that I appreciate you for even clicking on this video. It was something that you didn't have to do, but I'm appreciative of it. One of the things that I've done to...
Would you say, Nancy, you said, is this the way to be rich and broke at the same time? Would you say rich in assets and broke on paper? Yeah, I mean, we want to be, I mean, I tell y'all I'm a broke college student all the time, and y'all laugh at me. I'm a broke college student.
And you know what? It's so funny, like things that you pick up at when you're younger. Like I never knew like the super strategy of it, but I always like I created a business like really early and then pushed everything to the business. I was doing DBAs and using that same company, creating new names, creating new business. Like I was just like, that's what you're supposed to do. I think that's how the rich do it. I don't know how they doing it, but it looked like this is how they was doing it, and it was working. Like, is what you getting paid $10.99? No, I don't any of it in my name. I needed to go to this company here. Here's the EIN. Where's my W-9? I need all of my ends, and I let the CPA work that out on the back end. I need every single cent that you got to pay. Every single cent.
I'm a broke college student. If anybody asks you, I'm broke.
I'm rich in life. I'm rich in spirit. I'm broke on paper.
Broke.
I was so excited. His video, Tam sent me his video, and I was working. I was like, this is why I don't like you sending me this stuff while I'm working. Because I literally stopped everything I was doing and brought out my notepad and was writing notes. Like, I love this type of stuff. It's like, is that what they're doing? Because it's the game of life at the end of the day. It is the game of life. And one of my professors said, you play fair and you play to win, but not to not lose. This is the game. If you know how to play the game, you win it.
That's right, Nancy. I'm broke. I'm broke. I'm broke. You look, I'm broke. I ain't got. I got $25 liquid.
I'd rather lint in my pocket. It's lint in my pocketbook. It's some change for the meter.
All right, let's get back to it. You free. You ain't heard it all yet. Free.
You ain't heard nothing yet. Like just what that in the estate planning, man.
And I've been in. I reached out to Robless, so I'm trying to get him on the show. Y'all better have y'all estate questions ready. Try to get him on the show. I got a couple of estate people I'm coming to the show. I've been working with. All right, let's get back to him.
To help you and other individuals like yourself who want to know tax law is I created a... So now we have a $30,000 expense that shows up on the returns. Now, the management company that we've created has $30,000 in taxable income. You might be saying, Carlton, aren't we just moving money around? If I have LLCs that already are pulling in passive income and they just pay another company, aren't I just going to pay taxes in that other company? You're right, unless you do something in this other company. We talked about how management companies have a different responsibility than your existing entity. And if they have a different responsibility than your existing entity, then they can hire different individuals than your existing entity. Then you can do different write-offs than your existing entity. So if I had $30,000 in taxable income sitting inside of my management company, what are some of the strategies that I can leverage to avoid taxes on the income that I put inside of my management company while also still being able to get the $30,000 deduction between my LLCs? Because I want those deductions. This is where the upstream strategies comes in. Let's draw it out. We have LLC number 1, LLC number 2, and LLC number 3. All of these LLCs are paying LLC number 4 a total of $30,000. Okay? So this is a number that we have to offset. How are we going to be able to offset 30 grand? Tell me how! Let's start off with what I know that many taxpayers have. Many taxpayers have families. And one of the really cool tax laws that the government allows for us to take advantage of is being able to place children on payroll. The government says that if you place a child on payroll, that you can pay them up to the standard deduction amount without the child needing to file a tax return. The standard deduction amount in 2021 is $12,550. That means that if I have 2 kids, I'm already receiving a $25,550 deduction without my children actually having to file a tax return or pay taxes. Hell yeah! Now I'm in a place where all I have to do is offset the other $450. And if I'm running a management company, I probably have a cell phone, home office, and vehicle that I can use to wipe out the other $450 that I need to wipe out to avoid taxes on the money I paid myself for managing my own investment properties. Guys, this right here is called an upstream strategy because we're moving money from your existing entities and pushing it upstream to a new entity that has different responsibilities. And when it's up here, you're wiping away the income that you put up here with expenses that are different from your operational LLCs. This right here is a strategy that many business owners try to go in at alone, and they end up getting caught not being able to offset the liability up here because they don't know what to do in the parent company. I advise you guys to always speak with a tax strategist when you're considering setting up a parent company so that you can make sure that you understand what is a reasonable compensation between your entities to pay out in management fees. On top of that, now that you understand what a reasonable compensation is to pay out between your existing LLCs, how do you offset the tax burden that's in your parent company now? What things do you need to make sure that the parent company is doing to be operational, to be able to wipe away its tax liability on a yearly basis? And these are the types of things that I want to be able to make sure that you guys have access to as you're going about to becoming better business owners. I like leveraging parent companies, but you also have to understand that it extends far past real estate. You can have parent companies just from you owning multiple businesses. We have clients that own a couple of different Amazon stores, which require them to have different LLCs associated with each Amazon store that they might have. So what we've done is we created a parent company that owns each LLC, and those LLCs pay management fees up to the parent company that has completely different responsibilities from their operational LLCs. I love being able to play with entity structures, but one thing is for certain, if you try to do it alone, you could end up getting into a place where you end up owing instead of saving money. My name is Carlton Dennis, and if you're trying to become a savvier taxpayer, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I look forward to creating more videos like this for you so we can build our wealth strategically. I'll see you on the next video.
All right. What are your thoughts?
I love it. I love it. I love it. It's getting the information you need to help you plan. That's it. If you got questions, I mean, it's the best money you'll spend to know how to play the game. It just started raining here. Hopefully my internet doesn't go out, but it just got super dark in the last 10 minutes. I love it. You know, I love it. Love
All right.
it, love it, love it, love it.
All right, I got one more. This is my last one.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. One more. Drop a one in the chat if you like. Incredible information. Okay. Yeah. All right. So this one, I think this is get kind of convoluted on this one, but it's worth it. So here we go.
And exciting tax laws that you can use inside of your business or your organization, whether you're an investor, a W-2 taxpayer, or someone who's just getting into the tax realm, welcome. In this video, we're going to be discussing holding companies. Holding companies are different than your operational company because
that might have been it. Hold on. I might have clicked on the wrong one. Oh no, that's it. Let me see. Hold on. Let me make sure that's not the one. Yeah, it's the same one. That's not it. That's not the one I want. Hold on. Let me go back to my notes. Oh, because I downloaded them and I was watching them on the plane. Because I was like, oh yeah, we need to talk about this. Because one of them that he brought up was how to how you as the person. I'm gonna go to downloads. Hold on. How you as the person can avoid your taxes by setting up these different entities. Hold on here. Let me put this in. How to rich. Hold on. How to rich. To do rich.
The one Tam sent me was how Donald Trump paid $750 on his taxes last year or something like that.
Yep.
I was like, man, this is the game. All that other stuff, this it's just icing on the cake. With the taxes, if you don't have your tax strategy right, you can't keep the money you make. Right. This is the meat and potatoes of the game right here. How to keep that money that you make.
Right. This the one you talking about right here. With Donald Trump, how he paid $750 in taxes. Right here. That's the one. This one right here is a 3-part series. I'm not gonna play all of them. We probably have to do this another time. But it's a 3-part series right here. And it's basically using the cash flow quadrant, but it's part 1, part 2, and part 3. But we'll do a little bit.
It's no secret that the wealthy have figured out how to avoid taxes legally. It's not only that they have better financial advisors, as they have access to better information. As a part of this video, I want to give you access immediately to what the wealthy have leveraged and the mindset that they have in regards to avoiding taxes legally and leveraging the money game. Let's dive in. Is because many individuals realize that this information isn't being provided in grade schools and in classrooms in college. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over how the wealthy view income. What is the information that they're teaching their children that allows for generational wealth? We need to break down the federal tax system's classes in an approach that is digestible. As I was studying wealth and financial literacy training, I ran into various different teachers such as Robert Kiyosaki, Tom Wheelwright, Grant Cardone, and all these various different investors that you guys are aware of. One of the teachers, Robert, created a very catchy cash flow game called the Cash Flow Quadrant. He created this game to show how everyday taxpayers are being taxed, whether they're an employee, a small-based business owner, or an investor. But it's important to understand it coming from a tax strategist as well. When Robert created the cash flow quadrants, he started out by drawing 2 lines on the page, and he wrote an E, an S, a B, and an I in the top left hand of those 4 corners. And he started explaining how employees pay upwards to 40% in taxes, and how small business owners and small professionals pay upwards to 60% in income taxes, and how big business owners pay only 20% in federal taxes, and how professional investors pay 0% in income taxes.
You're getting 30 grand? I'm getting 1,000.
You guys are getting paid? Now, my goal in my office is to help people get to the point where they can qualify to become a professional investor to pay 0% taxes. But not every taxpayer starts off as an investor. It's not like
You woke up one day and your parents said, you know what, you're not going to go and play football or soccer. You're going to study to become a real estate investor and become a professional investor because that's the best business ever in the world. No one taught you how to do that. Typically, your parents are employees, in most cases. And like many employees, are teaching you and showing you how to become a employee like themselves, or even a better employees, so you can make more money than your parents. One of the reasons why the E quadrant happens to be an undesirable quadrant to be in for the wealthy is because the wealthy understand that the government views employees in a different way than they view small-based business owners, big business owners, or personal investors. They view employees as having an easy lifestyle. Let's think about that. If we're employees, how exactly do we have easy lifestyle? Well, we have to think about it. If you go to school and you work really hard, or even if you don't go to school, you could end up deciding to go work for somebody who has decided to create a business that is going to house you. So the government realized
Basically, you got protection, all right? And I'm not gonna play the whole video, but I just wanted to give you just the context of where he starts out at in that three-part video. And in the other videos, basically one of the big things about being having some of these write-offs is creating charitable contributions, and then that you pay the charity a certain percentage, and that percentage then turns around and set up an annuity, and then an annuity pays you back. And he talks about this in some of the videos and so forth. But I want to get you to understand um, your IRA, your 401k. After you make so much money, it doesn't work for you. Those strategies don't work for you. You have to come up with something else. So while we're on our road to 200K, great. Go ahead and start implementing what your plan is, right? Remember, add an asset, add a skill, add an asset, right? And he actually talks about the same strategy. I didn't even know him before I was talking about it, but it just made sense to me just from looking at it and what the leverage gives you. Why do you? And this is like sometimes y'all gotta like look at companies for what they are. Why do you think you see BlackRock and Bezos and all of them going out buying up whole subdivisions and renting them out? Why do you think they do that? You think they do that just because they want to help you? Right? Why do you think they do that? Leveraging. They I make so much money, I gotta leverage it, right? I gotta leverage that money somehow. I gotta do something with that. So again, you gotta remember, right? Um, Even though real estate can be slow money for some people, it's surefire money in some cases. And when you start looking at over time, when you start looking at the different things that you can do within real estate, uh, is another one. Storage units, laundromats, RV parks, hunting, sports. Uh, you can create sports fields and so forth, right? Just different things you can do. Buying a house with a lake, allowing people to come and utilize the lake is $5 for entry, and then you get to utilize the lake or what have you. But again, you have to figure out what's going to be your asset class that you want to get into, and you may not have just one. You may have multiple asset classes that you want to get into. You may want to get into car washes. You may want to buy a car wash business. You may want to start a syndication, a private equity fund, a hedge fund. You may want to build till you get to a family office, and in that family office, you have these things, right? Right. Um, and then start looking at interview people, ask people what do they do at a family office, that manage other, companies or family organizations. Ask them, Talk to them, find out what they're looking at, right? Somebody's always, and it's kind of comes back twofold to what we were talking about with quantum computing. All right, when we're trying to leverage what people were doing, what people were with quantum computing, how to leverage the Monte Carlo, and how we're looking at what's going to be the best plan for you for this to move into this. What's is this strategy a good strategy, right? Um, the goal is wealth preservation, right? We're accumulating wealth, and then we want wealth preservation. We're right now we're wealth planning and wealth accumulating. We're in between. We're not preserving. Well, at least some of us are not. Maybe some are. Maybe some of you have reached your goal already. Maybe your goal is just $1 million, and you reached your goal, and you're okay with 1 million, and you're ready to retire on that, right? Some people may not. That may not be their goal. Their goal maybe 2 million, right? But again, what are you going to do to get there? How's that? What does that look like? We'll do a deeper dive on Carlton. You can go check out his videos and so forth, so you can see what he's talking about. I'm trying to see if one is really short. Uh, they're all pretty long. Well, you got this one that's like 30 seconds. Let me see. Can I share that with my screen? No, I can't. Let me see what the self-employed is like 34 seconds. Let's see. What is a self-employed federal Carlton? It's like 34 seconds. It's a short.
So, solo 401k, also known as an individual 401k or self-employed 401k, works a little bit differently than a standard 401k, but actually gives you the opportunity to save even more. The cool thing about this kind of plan is that you're allowed to contribute both as an employer and you can contribute as an employee, meaning you get to contribute up to $58,000 for 2021, twice as much as you could with a regular 401k. You see, as an employee of your business, you can contribute up to $19,500 for 2021 or up to 100% of your compensations, whichever is less. And if you're older than 50 years of age, you can contribute an additional $6,500 as what's called a catch-up contribution. As an employer, you can make an additional contribution of up to 25% of your compensations after deductions. The exact amount is calculated using tables and worksheets from the IRS. So this is an area where it pays to work with a good tax specialist who can help you maximize your contributions before year end. So solo 401k.
It's 62,000 for this year for solo 401k. But you can see he goes on to talk about different, bookkeeping, accounting, the no tax and so forth. Uh, Ryan Penner, How to Save Thousands in Texas. They did an interview together. And I showed you Ryan making what was he making? 100, was it 75,000 a week?
Yes, that's what you talked about last week.
Yeah, 75,000 a week, right? How to write out $30,000, that right there, LLC. So I implore you to go check him out. And as you go check him out, go back, like I say, to these books, right? And start reading about tax strategies, right? Bigger Pockets has theirs. There are other ones you can just see. Let me see if you can get it free on audio on this one. Yeah, see, this one is free on audio on an audio book, right? For 2020. So, just start reading about it and understanding. And out, when you start talking to your CPAs, or you start doing your financial planning, start asking these questions like, what bucket does this fall in? Is this tax free or this deferred? This tax free or deferred? Oh, this deferred? Oh no, we don't want that. I want to be in tax free. And if it's going in deferred, at what point can I do a Roth conversion? And how much is that going to be? Can you run the Monte Carlo to see what's going to be the best time I need to do X, Y, and Z to do this conversion and how much taxes is going to be? What's the estimated, right? Estimated that, right? Understand what that looks like, right? Again, that's just one part of your portfolio. You have an entire portfolio. I hope you're planning to have an entire portfolio where you are talking about estate planning, and in that portfolio you have your real estate, you have your businesses, you have your whatever, right? Again, this is not financial advice. This is just concepts and things that I've found. You can go and do the search for yourselves. Do you want to add anything before we get out of here? We've been in it. We're at 2:25. I know we gotta go.
Do we have to go?
I'm making the call. Like. Do we have to go? I'm gonna
You
let
know, I'm just a guest here.
I'm gonna let the people. I'm gonna let you and the people decide.
I'm giving. You know, I'm gonna give it to the people because I'm for the people.
Okay. Mm,
I'm for the
yeah.
people.
Y'all tell us.
But it is 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's about to rain on my. What's for dinner?
Mm-hmm. I was looking at. I ain't had no lunch, so I
And
don't.
that smoothie and it fell off.
Ty's like, keep going.
Keep going. Keep going. Now, if we keep going, y'all got to come up and add to the conversation. What y'all doing? What's tax strategies based on the income that you have now? What tax strategies are you guys out here doing? What are you reading? We need to know these things. We need to know what you're implementing. Share with the people. We're a community. We need to know.
And we still need. Did anybody do what I asked? Did y'all come up with your plan for your?
They what's the homework?
Yeah, the
Homework.
homework. Did y'all come up with y'all plans for the 5 million, 10 million? What's going on? What's your retirement goal? Have you set that? What's going on? I shared you my goal. Well, what I don't know what that means, Desi B. You still on the make more money step. I don't know what that means. I don't know. I don't know if that means you are interviewing. I don't know if that means you are in the you are getting ready to sign the paperwork. I don't know if you skilling up. I don't know what that means.
What do I need to do? Do I need to drop the link? D, drop the link. D, drop the link. I'm over here. So
Look. We can always go back and start talking about TDJs.
Oh no. Oh no. That wore me out. That wore me out. TD Jakes, that conversation wore me out. I literally had to go get some fruit to eat because I was on my way out. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that.
While being in full-time travel. Well, what is your business going to be a full-time traveler? Are you going to look for things like things that you could do remotely based upon your skill sets? You trying something new? That's questions around that. There's questions around that. And then two, drop in the chat what your retirement age and number is. When I say age, what's your retirement age and what's your income you wanna have every year. So your income every year may be 100,000. You may want to retire at 40 with 100,000. And I've been looking, and they've been talking about the 4% rule is trash, right? They've been talking about the 60/40 rule is trash.
Well, Todd, we waiting for Broke on Paper podcast. You know I collect domain names, so you better get it before I snatch it up. And that's your business. You said you're trying to figure out your next best move because my primary income is tax free, 100% disabled vet, but looking to skill up and start a business while being a full time traveler. I get it. And it's okay to say, I need some more money. That's one of my goals, to get some more money, get some more revenue streams. It's okay. How are you coming up with that plan? Do you guys, how you sketch that out? Do you do lucid charts? Do you do a mind map? Do you have a good old notebook? My tablet, I got me a new something for my tablet. I got me a screen cover for it. I'm gonna put it on after the podcast. It's matte so it can feel like paper. Hey, I'm in it. I'm in it. How you guys planning and plotting?
So how do you calculate each year what your income is going to be or should increase? So that goes back into those conversations that we've been having, right? So I looked at Oak Harvest, and I looked at a couple of different ones that talk about this, right? So one of the big things is accounting for Social Security. So if you know you want your income to be, say, around about 200,000 for your retirement, say you're retiring at 67, that's gonna yield you about 180 to 200,000. But here's the thing that you have to account for, and this is one of the scenarios with the Monte Carlo that they were discussing. So when you retire at 67, you haven't reached the maximum age of retirement for Social Security. So with that being said, is saying instead of taking 4%, because usually typically when people retire, they spend they spend money up early, like they're traveling more, they're going to see the kids, the grandkids, they're doing their thing because they're retired. So instead of the 4% rule, it says, hey, go ahead and take out maybe 5 to 6%. Then when you reach that maximum age of retirement because you deferred Social Security, you drop that and you add in your Social Security, right? And then as you progress on in life, the loop it does like this, right? It's a big pool up here, then there's a big dip down here because you kind of plateau out, and then as you get older, your health gets becomes worse or deteriorates, so that cost goes up. So that's why I mentioned last week that if you are going to have retirement, you might want to look at having a separate fund for your health care. Hence why in your HSA, there's no RMD, there's no required minimum distribution there. You can input, money into that. And it also can play the stock market or whatever you pick in that. And so it earns money. So you can offset some of your healthcare issues or some of your healthcare bills with your HSA that you have. And if you want to put a money aside, and I got to do a show on that. Like, what does it look like to put a bucket aside just for healthcare? Because that never really gets talked about. Because some people have strokes, some people have an early onslaught of dementia. Some people have diabetes they didn't have. Just different things that happen to you. So it's those things that you all need to be worried about as you grow older and move into retirement, right? And what does that look like, especially if you are a parent of maybe an autistic child or parents of an autistic child? What does it look like for parents who have sickly children, or maybe the spouse is sick, maybe the spouse is sickly? What does it look like to take on the parents, right? Maybe the mom moves in, or the mom and the dad both move in to the home because you're needed to take care of them, and maybe they have an early onslaught of something, right?
I dated somebody and he was like, me and my mama, we a package deal. She coming to live with us.
Yeah, I get it.
Your mama and my mama is too independent for that. They don't want to be bothered at all.
All right, Azrael said 400K annual joint income with a retirement age at 55, so about 20 million is what that comes out to be. So you want to have 20 million at 55. What's your plan to get there? 20 million by 55, and what investments? And remember, you're not going to see, this is the other thing that people get confused when I talk about this. I'm not telling you got to work all this time. You may make some smart investments that may help that money grow.
Yeah.
What does that look like? Right.
What does that look? The goal is to work smarter, not harder.
Right. Right. And when you start talking about 500,000 and $1 million in income, and you getting taxed at 50%, you're gonna look for tax strategies. You're gonna be like, yo,
Smarter, not harder.
you gonna
How
you
how
gonna be
you
you gonna be like, yo, Sam, my guy, what are we
do
doing here?
do
My guy, what are we doing here? Right. So that's why I say, if you're at 200K and you're looking to add more to your skill set and so forth, go ahead and start looking at the tax strategies now and be already involved with what that can look like. So it's just a natural flow for you. Because you could be working, you could be at 200,000 and then go buy a business, and now you're at 1 million. So it's just little things like that. So D, nobody wanted to come up. I tried. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed today's show. I know we talked about a couple of things, but I want you to really start focusing on this 200K. Like, if you don't think you need 200K at this point with inflation and milk, how much is milk now? $5, $10? I don't even know no more. Let me see. Where is it? Let's go to Publix and let's look up how much is milk. Um, that's fine. I just want the milk cost. I don't want to go to the location. Let's see. Whole milk. They don't have a blood thing. Let me see. Was it $5? Let's see. Add to list. New list. Oh,
yes.
it don't give me a number.
I was in the store the other day, and a man bought a gallon of milk, and it was $5.10. And he was like, he looked at the cashier, and the cashier was like, "You don't need to pay the 15, the 10 cents." But he said it's 5.10. You don't have 10 cents. It's cool. Milk is high. Milk is expensive.
$6. Milk
Water is
milk is $89.
89.99. 89. You know what? This the past couple of weeks, I've got 1 gallon of some almond milk, but I've been putting water. I've been learning to love water in my smoothies. Like, I need more water anyway.
Yeah.
I don't need the excess sugar and the calories. Like, cut out 35 calories per cup.
Rachel, you can pay off the debt and the real estate before you retire. Absolutely, right? Absolutely. But the question is, what is the retirement number, and what do you want to have to live off of? Remember, now you're probably gonna live, if you're retiring at 40, 50, you're probably gonna live another 40, 50 years. That's what they've been saying, right? At least 30, right? Most people are living probably about 30, 40 years. 50 maybe pushing it. Depending what, in some cases, right? So you got to have enough money for that, and then what city you living in, and so that's why I say you may want to buy your land now, and
Mhm.
and then maybe put a structure or something on it, right? You don't even have to buy homes now. You just get you a manufactured home delivered to the location and pop it on.
Dropped off. Mhm.
Yeah, you don't have to build anything. You just get it delivered. And some of the manufacturing homes are good. Some of the homes are good. Let me see. Shop, manufactured homes, prefab. Get you one of these little prefabs like this. You good to go. You don't need much. You don't need much. No prefab. Come put it up. Uh, Laptop come down. Let me put this charge. Put it on the charger. Yeah. So put you a tiny home back there. I know Home Depot was selling tiny homes.
Mm-hmm. Ain't
What,
telling the truth.
what
And
y'all
you
saying?
paying $7 for a half a gallon of plant-based milk. You're not even getting a whole gallon.
What y'all say? Y'all can't. You can't have a tiny home and a flying spur, or you can't have You can't have a tiny home and a Rolls Royce. Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
I get a tiny home. Our Rose Works get a tiny home.
Look,
Tiny home garage.
look at this. This is 50. This one right here, tiny home, 2 bedroom, 2 bath loft, 46,997 shipped to the home, right? And then rent it out, right there. 43, 44, 65.
When I worked for Wachovia in their construction firm department, and it was so many families that had land that were getting manufactured homes. Like, we just want to be closer to mama, and they would get their home delivered. I was just and dropped off. I can't wait to get me a she shed on wheels.
Mm.
What you doing? Popping up in the city here, me and my she shed on wheels.
All right. My best friends, 27-year-old twins, each have tiny homes on family-owned property, and I'm saving so much. Yeah.
Hmm. I had a friend. Her daughter was living in their RV in the driveway.
Yep. You can rent driveway space as well too. You rent your driveway space for extra cash. Right. Earn up to $200 a month renting out your driveway. Oh, you need a place to park? No problem. Cause just park it in my driveway. You can do that. Now I don't know what that means safety wise, but it's something possible.
All the house is to hold more stuff. You start purging a lot of that stuff. You realize even in your own house, I know under everybody like room, but it's like, do I just go to the living room in the kitchen, bathroom? Do I spend most of my time outside?
You can do
What
that
do I
too.
need?
You can build a container home. Yep. You have to get flood insurance in it. Well, depending on the zone. You have to get hurricane insurance anyway. So
Shoot, the hurricane and the flood go bring up the big house just like you bring up the little house. Tam send me those videos. I'll be like, oh my goodness.
when them tornadoes come through, the storm chases
Hmm.
from Oklahoma, the one with the latest tornado, they be crazy. Like this right here, this crazy.
Chances are, unless you live in a few pretty specific parts of the world,
This crazy. Like when you see
you've never
these
seen a
tornadoes like this
tornado
right
in
here,
real life before. Luckily for you, thanks to the internet,
It
you
just
can
be
experience
spinning.
the craziness that is a tornado from the comfort of your own
look at
home.
that. It's gonna go right
From
there
a
to that shit. Look
massive
at that. Look at
twister
that.
tearing through a city to a POV shot of what it's like to be hit by a Category 4 storm. Here
Just like
are
that.
5 tornado videos you wouldn't believe if
The
you
one with the
lived.
guy that was in the truck that got spun around, he said that
The United
He said he
States
just
gets
kept
more
going,
tornadoes than
but he
any
didn't.
other country. When it comes to tornadoes,
He wasn't.
America is
He wasn't.
indisputably number one.
He wasn't trying to
Back in
drive away.
2014, a group of storm
Look at that.
chasers set out to
Look at how
film a
many
string
houses
of
in here.
massive
Look at that debris.
tornadoes that hit northeast Nebraska. The majority of the buildings in the small town of Pilger were totally destroyed. After the tornadoes were finished, virtually the entire town had been blown away. The town, which has only 378 residents, has a very fitting motto. It's the
300.
little town too tough to die. I
370
guess that's just the kind of
residents.
town motto
This
you
the,
need
the
if
one
you
that there is a video that I did watch where they talk about clocking how fast the tornadoes move, right? Moving at there's at 94 miles per hour across the area because they're moving quickly. Then they got some that are just slow and just spinning and whatnot. So I don't know. I watch them all just because me driving and stuff like that. I'm looking for that circular motion. I'm like, ooh, that look like that's gonna be a funnel. Mm.
That or the UFO that's gonna come pick you up in the middle of Area 54.
51.
Whatever the area is, 1
It's
through 100. I don't want to get picked up by nothing.
it's 51. Area 51. All right, people. I do have more, but we're gonna let y'all go on the tax strategies. Get the
We're gonna
lights
talk
up.
about that homework next week.
Yeah, get the lights up, and then let's have people. We need to do our Q&A session. Maybe we'll do it in the Q&A session. So
And the
people,
Q&A session is for members. So if you
yeah,
haven't got a membership, you might want to look into that.
yeah. I gotta get for the members the enrolled agent coming on and Robless. That's what I'm working on right now. The enrolled agent is secure. I can. That's easy. Robless is a little harder to track down. So, but that's okay. We got some more estate planning people. All right. So, plan your estate, no date. You're only one skill away from 200K. Make sure that you are also encouraging others to skill up. Those that don't want to come, don't worry about it. And then you can do about it.
When the
Don't, but,
time they'll come around.
but don't you get left behind. The bickering that goes over here is just smoke and mirrors, right? Especially when someone is coming from outside and buying up real estate at $6 billion worth of real estate. But I also told you, if you have not been paying attention, I also told you that JP Chase Morgan is putting more agents in California and Florida with high net worths of $10 million. I told you that last year. Now China came in and bought up $6 billion worth of real estate between Florida and California. That's probably what they was preparing for. So now they have a family office, and now that family office is going to have all their family under that family office and creating more generational wealth with different tactics and different assets that they want to
Are
invest
they
in.
sending their kids over here to go to school and putting them in those houses?
Yep. Yep, because that's what they do in Florida. They send their kids over here and go to school and they buy their houses and have them in the houses, and then they have create rental income because they own the house, and then they have their people paying them, which is just never mind. All right, D, time for dinner
Thank you guys for coming out. We appreciate you as always. Implement.
and execution. We'll see y'all later.